It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. The heart of Massachusetts should be freedom, justice, and liberty. Freedom led pilgrims to Plymouth Bay. Salem trials had justice too late. The sons of liberty spilled the tea, and then the redcoats spilled their blood. The shot heard around the world rang out from the Bay State. Boston strong and ready to defend. It's where revolution started and ends. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day. Quincy Market, Freedom Trail, Charles River, Boston Harbor, Bunker Hill, Griffin's Wharf, Fenway Park, Omar Charge. It's been such a long time since Boston led the way. It's more than a feeling. It's Mike and Tom to start the day.
Boom.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Welcome to Shit Show Saturday.
It's going to be a good day.
Who came up with Shit Show Saturday? I love it.
The ladies,
Good
the
one.
mods.
Oh,
They make,
well,
if they put it, we do it. That's how it works.
I hear you.
Speaking of
I got-
mods, we
I
got
got
the
a
best
text-
mods, Mike.
I got a text today, 4 o'clock. That was it.
Yep.
I'm like, okay.
We're blessed to have amazing
Yeah.
mods. We really are.
Yes.
Yep. I invited a special person on, but you know, I don't know if anyone else has this problem with Twitter. I try and send a message and it doesn't send. I have to send it twice for it to go through. Every time I send you a link, I got to send it twice.
Really?
Yep. Every time. And I sent it to our special guest. So I'm hoping comes on
All right.
in the same thing, but
All right.
that'll be interesting to hear his point of view.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that actually goes out to all you people out there. If anybody wants to come on and chit chat, easy. Give you a link. You don't have to show the camera. You can turn your camera off. All right, Mike. Prosecution's come. The prosecution rested. Now it's time for the defense.
Well,
How do you think you went for the first day?
oh, I mean, I love how they anchored it down by, it was Welcher and Judson, right? Manchannon to end their prosecution direct. And then we went right into an analytical debunk, so to speak,
Right. Yep.
with Casobra. I thought that was an excellent movie because it's kind of high at the start. You don't want to like mix up the, go away from what they just
Right.
blew up.
Keep them in that zone of what they're listening to.
Because there was so much to do with Shannon's CV was
Oh my God. The one he made up.
right. And when Jackson asked him about, was it Jackson? Yeah, Jackson asked
Yep.
about, you have a bachelor's, you have a master's, you're peer reviewed. The jury got that without him saying, like, you know what I mean? That was
Yes.
beautiful. That was to me, you got the batting order going the right way, in my opinion. You lead off hitter.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that way they're starting.
I think overall, in a general blanket of calling anybody, you have 60 people on the defensive witness list,
Yep.
and they just called 39. I think you got to be around the same number.
Okay. So we're talking
But you-
about the same. Okay.
I think you got to finish with a bang. Like, you got to either have Proctor, you got to have the Alberts go, you got to have Higgins go, but you have to, if you end it with either
What about Officer Barrows? What a way to end it.
you could debunk a lot of things with this.
There's
but
so
you
many
want the
different ways, though.
You want the jurors to go into deliberations remembering the most recent fresh information they got, and that
Yep.
would be Proctor or Archer.
Gotcha. Listen, I want to bring our special guest up.
All right.
All right, everybody, real quick, just so you guys all know, this is somebody that he's got a lot of information that I think is very, very helpful. At least maybe a different way. So without any time, welcome, Mr.
Oh,
Barry Lewis.
hey, what's going
How's it
on,
going,
man?
dude?
How you doing,
Hey.
big guy?
Nice to put
Hey.
a face with the tweets. Yeah.
Ooh, let's go.
There he is.
Good to see you, my friend, man.
So
You woke up with an attitude this morning, huh? You woke up and chose violence this morning.
What the hell's wrong with these people? It's like they're doing this every weekend after trial ends, right? So
Right.
they got nothing better to do than fuck with people.
That's right.
I mean, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Did you see Mama Llama saying that? Be
I-
careful of talking about
Thank
Dr.
you.
Welcher.
So
Witness
Harry
intimidation.
Lama, guys, you all know how tight she is with Jen McCabe, correct?
Best friends.
Yeah.
Best friends.
Besties. Oh, their phone numbers are connected.
So, you know, when it comes to her, she's being played.
Yeah.
She's being played.
Yep.
The fact that the McCabe's and the Alberts are not telling her about the financial misdealings between Aperture and the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office.
Are those women? Are those mistakes, you think, or are those
Those
are
not
mistakes?
Tommy,
those are
not-
not mistakes. I'm
those
glad
are not
you brought
mistakes.
that up.
Tommy.
Oh, you're great.
Look, the Office of the Comptroller and the Auditor are responsible for providing oversight when it comes to expenditures in the Commonwealth. And the fact that the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office has to provide its checkbook on all expenditures, whether it's payroll, which I did this morning because I found something interesting, and all vendors, which include expert testimony witnesses
Bingo.
from a firm. That would include Aperture.
Yep.
So the fact that Aperture has nothing on the books, knowing there's testimony on this, they're being played. I don't understand how there is no one on that side like Mike Gaffney. Mike Gaffney.
An attorney, by the
He
way.
knows
People
how
don't- so
to
people
go
know
check
he's an attorney.
expenditures, and he's not checking it. Yeah, we're on fire, baby. Let's go. I'm just like, dude, wake up. You're all being lied to.
Oh my God. Thank you. You notice it, man. I'm glad you're out here.
Are they
saying what you're
really
saying.
lying, or are they really just got an axe to grind with Aiden? Is that what it is? It seems more so that, and this is just a reason that they're using to grind. It could be something else, for Christ's sakes. These people they're not good people over there.
I guess the answer, broadly speaking, Barry, would be maybe they haven't cut the check yet, so we wouldn't find out what we paid them yet. Is that something that can happen? Like fiscal year is July 1st, Tom?
Is it an open invoice still?
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Right?
If Walter said was true,
He knows he signed the contracts. He knows
yeah,
he
has
no,
has
to.
yeah,
to,
when he
right?
testified, they
Who's
were
he?
paid.
He's
Yeah.
doing work for them, Mike. He knows he's got a contract.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you know, people send out like POs back in after they testify, and
Yep.
it goes through the process of the Commonwealth or whatever, and they write the wire the money in or whatever. I didn't know if that was in process, but they seem to know the number. But Welcher said, I don't know if we received the
The
check. I
maximum
know it's not-
obligation was upwards to $400,000, and he testified that they had received 44 and change. But he also
Right.
testified to the fact that apparently, as an executive VP, he's not getting financial reports on
No quarterlies.
for clients that he works with.
Right.
To me, that makes no sense.
He's got to
at
get
all.
quarterlies. If he's on that board, he's got to sit
Absolutely.
through that meeting. You know,
Absolutely.
Barry, he's not dumb in that aspect.
Absolutely,
He's got
dude.
an idea of what's going on. He knows who he's working on for. He knows what he's working on.
Yeah. Well, I know this. I provided some information to Aiden that I'm sure he's doing due diligence on
Mm-hmm.
because he's
Good.
our guy.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Listen,
He's
first
our
one,
guy.
yep, without a doubt, hands down.
And he's already done one story in reference to one of these guys affiliated
Yeah.
with Aperture in Massachusetts State Troopers, and there's more coming on that.
So it's about money then, right?
It's always been about money, Tommy. It's always been about money with these people.
Yeah.
I have another question, sir.
Yeah.
You know how they were sending all the video and audio to Fanning and Crawford's company to get fucked with and then sent back so that they could prove whatever. They closed that company like a couple days after John passed, right?
Okay. I think I'm going to provide some clarification regarding that company involving Fanning and Crawford. Okay.
Yes. Because
We have not.
this is big to me because
Well,
to me it's
I know.
a
I
major
know it
conflict.
is. I know. So I just want you guys to keep in mind a couple of things. Number one, that company was closed on 2022. Okay, and that was the day of the indictment, the first indictment for Karen.
Yep.
Also,
Closed. So they shut the company down.
on 2/2.
22.
Yeah, thank you. And we have not seen testimony yet that her firm has done any work with the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. Now, with that being said, I don't believe in coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
I know this company had to have been formed for a legitimate business purpose. Colleen Crawford filed certain disclosure requirements as a public employee to do work on the side. Now, with that being said, I never saw anything that tells me she's violating Commonwealth of Massachusetts disclosures. With that being said, there has been no investigation regarding ethical issues with Colleen Crawford and Fanning regarding that company and some of the other business entities that we've heard about, like the city of Boston and Mr. Albert.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't know what their business activities have been.
What would be the reason for making a company?
Yeah, well,
No,
that's the right, Mikey.
right,
That's
that would-
Mikey. That's the right question, dude.
Right.
You don't start companies knowing the
blue.
position that
Yeah.
they're in and the
Yeah.
expertise that they have
i.e. exposure.
without developing business relationships that would help you
Right.
financially, especially
have-
some of the guys that they have worked with. It makes no
fuck.
sense.
Oh, fuck yeah. Yeah.
Barry, I have a
Totally agree.
question. If they closed their company
Yeah,
on February 2nd,
yeah,
the day that Karen Reed got indicted,
yeah.
they had no evidence at that point, right? It was all just hearsay now, right? Maybe a couple pieces of taillight that they had or whatever.
Yeah, they didn't have much taillight at the time. All they had was what was found in that 55-minute search by CERT.
Right.
Yeah.
So if that's the
And
case,
also, you know, that initial search by Canton PD. That was
so
it.
if that's the case, right?
Yeah.
They had no evidence, video-wise, for the most part, of anything.
No.
Why are they even relevant if they close the company down? They shouldn't have been
Coincidence.
working on this case
Just-
whatsoever
Just a
We need
coincidence.
because they closed it before they got the evidence.
and that's
So
suspicious, but there has not been any independent verification or proof yet that they actually did work like that. And that's why, like,
right,
you remember when all the the hearing, all the hearings regarding evidentiary material regarding
at
the
the beginning.
court. Okay, so there have been a number of people who wanted to see the metadata, and I was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See who had the user access logs
Yep.
on Equivision and the cameras. And the reason for that is that software for Equivision has a user access log. That means anytime that had access to those frames, it would have a log to it to see if any changes or manipulation to that video occurred from the time of the car going to the Sally port
Right.
all the
Right.
way to
But
today.
here's the issue.
Yeah.
The issue comes to this. All right, Barry.
Yeah,
They have to take that file, say the Sallyport file. It's
Yeah.
one file. It's a video. They
Yeah.
take that and they email it.
Yeah.
It's in Equivision format. It has to be decoded into another format
that's
that
right.
you can then open up, erase stuff, move stuff, do what you want,
That's
then
right.
save it. But then you have to export it back to Equivision. And then you can play it on Equivision as that file that's edited. So when you hit play on the Equivision
Yeah.
DVR, you're going to see the modified file,
Yeah, yeah.
not the one that was originally there.
That's right.
That's
So
the problem. I'm
yeah.
not sure if these people can, grasp that, but this is
I-
a big, and every time
it's
you
a
touch
big
that
deal.
file,
Yeah.
the machine puts a tag on it. So they know who, when, where, and what
Absolutely.
machine touched it.
Yeah,
In
So-
that log file, where is that log file?
exactly. So the log file would be with the software for the recorder. That's where it
Inside
would
the
be.
unit. So when you turn it on and you
Inside
see
the
that
unit.
screen, when you turn on, like your TV, that software on the screen,
Yes.
that's software.
Yes, and I can
Yep.
tell you, so if you guys don't know anything about me professionally, I've been working with the passenger carrier transportation and transit industry since 2008.
Ooh, you're moving a
Okay.
lot of people.
Yes,
Wow. All
and
right. I didn't know that. That's
and
cool.
I have clients that work with Homeland Security.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and a lot of our clients have purchased access cameras with Equivision recording devices and software.
Okay.
Okay.
So typically, and the reason why the defense wanted this, and I agree, anytime there is video recording that is being stored on that device, the software is supposed to take that back to a backup server, a backup
Okay.
hard drive,
Yep.
so that that video is constantly being recorded on a 12 or 24-hour loop so that there's no overwriting.
Stop. Barry, where are all the backups? They get paid huge money for new municipalities to back
Yes.
this shit up. Where's
Right.
the backups?
Well, that's why it's going to be interesting to see if the defense is able to demonstrate if all those files for that 24 to 48-hour period for the Sallyport, never
Right.
mind every other camera.
Right.
So the Sallyport, it's going to be interesting to see if they're on the hard drives that were provided to the defense. I'll put it that way. And then from there, hopefully whoever their analyst is that knows how to take a look at these files and see if there's been any manipulation or removal of frames.
Right.
That's
See-
what I'm going to be interested in. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. The DVR itself, okay? The unit that they plug all the cameras into, that box, okay?
Yeah.
That box, when you turn it on, has to be set up a certain way. Do you want it to back up every night? Do you want it to be motion detection? What area do you want to select for motion? You can get deep into that software inside that unit. The IT director
Yeah,
of the town of Canton is responsible for that.
that's right.
Jutris.
That's right.
All that DVR stuff, as well as not just the Sallyport, but like the front entrance when you walk in. If somebody came in and started shooting the place up, they'd have that on video, like right away. So,
Right, so yeah,
like they need. Where is that data? Forget about who touched it.
It
Let's
would-
just
it
talk
would
basics here,
it
Barry.
would be
Basics.
on. Yeah. So it would be on one of the hard drives that has a server hosting solution at the
Right.
Canton Police Department, which better be under lock and key, so that there's no infiltration. That's what should be in place.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes totally, yeah.
But where is it, Barry? We haven't heard anything about the backups because everybody has to back up their stuff, and they get paid
Absolutely.
big dollars from the federal government because
Yes.
that's why they have that .gov. They get paid big money to back up their data. I don't think they're doing it at all.
Right. So yeah, Tommy,
Where's
to
that
your
money?
point.
Oh no,
Do-
Tommy. I think they are backing that video up.
To play and hide the ball, Barry, right? I mean, let's call it what it is. they're playing time game, don't have it, like Larry did in the first trial.
Right,
He
right.
discovered it late in the
If
trial,
they
and then
backed up, somebody would say, "Here's the backup. Get out of here. Leave me alone." I would, because in
Yeah.
hand,
Right.
I got nothing. There you go.
right.
I don't think
Right.
they have that. Hence the apprehension of everything.
Well,
That's something that a selectman should
Well,
probably watch and check.
how did they get the new video of Higgins? So, all 2.5 years later, someone had that the whole time. That
well,
he
that's
retired.
what I'm getting at. If you pay attention to Jackson's pretrial statements,
Yeah,
he said he's received 24 hours of video for that day.
yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I
Yeah, I
didn't
know
hear that.
Yes. In
Oh.
pretrial, yeah, in pretrial, he's received 24 hours of video for that date. Now the problem is
Yes.
you don't know if the user access log would indicate any manipulation of those files.
But
So,
does Equivision
as-
allow you to manipulate files? Is
Right.
there an editor program in
Right.
Equivision?
That's what I was, yeah.
Is
Yes.
there? There is?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
But you can tell when it's edited who, when, what,
Right.
right?
Exactly, Mike.
Yes,
Yep.
So
and that's
that's
where
what
the user access log comes in, because if you could see if any user access logs corresponds with any manipulation of
Metadata.
no, the user access logs, which is metadata, would
Okay.
correspond to any swapping of the individual images.
Frame.
Yes,
Frame?
yeah,
Okay.
thank you. The individual
Okay.
frame.
Yep. Okay.
And if you correspond to that, that would show clear manipulation of the
Right.
video itself. And
Barry.
as you know, they have a 24-hour period of the video at CPD.
Right.
However, the judge did not permit the metadata
Right.
to files. That's the
insanity.
problem.
Why would she do that?
You know why? You know why, dude?
I know. I just have to say it out loud so I don't sound crazy and just I'm
It's
thinking in my
nuts,
head.
dude. It's
Listen, Barry, how does a company get a contract in Canton to plow snow when they're not even a real company, dude? Don't you need insurance certificates and liability and
yes.
all these parameters in order
Yes.
to even plow?
Yeah,
Right? You could drive around unregistered uninsured vehicle plowing for the town of Canton if you want.
I know.
How does that happen? Where's that money go, Barry? Where is by the yards invoice? Because they probably invoiced them for sand and salt and think of that money. It's
I know.
all the town is set up to fleece the citizens.
Well, yes. So I heard again what you had to say yesterday. You're right. I mean, I have clients. That wrap in an LLC as a part of a regular tax form, and what
Mhm.
they do is they schedule. They do three additional filings. They do a Schedule C,
Yep.
a Schedule SC, and a Schedule 8823.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, and that's how they try and mitigate as much tax issue as possible. But yeah, LLCs will, if an LLC is filed under a individual tax return, it's a Schedule C, Schedule SC, and a 8823.
But how does that company even get the contract when they're not even real yet? They're not even at that point.
Right. So the final check, in addition, the state obviously doesn't have a filing with the Secretary of State. So the only other possibility that this company has some type of business registration would be with the town of Canton as a trade company individual. That would be it.
Okay. Odd. Yeah, that gets me for whatever reason. That whole by the yard thing. That whole
Oh, I get it.
that just something's not right with that. And I don't know.
You're talking about highly industrial equipment that would require commercial insurance because you're on
Yes.
public ways.
Without a doubt, my friend has trucks. He's got front end loaders, bobcats, trailers. The trailers are a bitch. Pay by
Yep.
the pound. Forget it.
I know.
So another question. These timestamps that they're referring to yesterday,
Yeah.
they're talking seconds here. Plus 16 seconds, plus 21 seconds, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it all comes back down to it happened after the incident that they alleged. So why are they talking about it if it happened after, timestamp wise?
Are you
John's
talking about
phone, supposedly his phone got blocked after Karen was at the end of the road. You know,
which timestamp are you referring to?
the 12:32:09 where he locked the phone.
Yeah. Okay.
That he had to manipulate the phone to lock it. That somehow, some way, that button got pressed on the
Yes,
side.
12:32:09. Yeah.
At that time. Now, at that time, Karen was probably taking a right onto the main street to go home. She had to have been gone. There had to be distance for her to make it home at that time.
Yes, there's no doubt. In those weather conditions, and the distance and the number of stop signs, there's no doubt.
Right. In the snow.
In the
right.
Yeah.
So how are they making this such a big deal if it happened supposedly after she left?
I know.
Why are they doing that?
Because Hank has no case, dude.
It's crazy.
No, hey, listen, he has no case.
He's trying. He's struggling.
He spent 2 hours on 3 seconds yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 hours, 3 seconds. He has no case, man. He knows he has no case.
So you think it's going to get worse? He's going to keep treating all of our people like this.
He's gonna, dude. The defense could wrap this case up in about 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
But dude,
use your bullets.
He is gonna do exactly what he did yesterday, and it's not gonna work. I said this yesterday. He's doing this trial like he's in a federal courtroom.
Yes, I noticed that.
He's not.
Okay.
He's acting like he's in a federal jurisdiction.
Okay.
It's not working. It's not working.
Yeah, he's trying though. He's really trying, and you got to give him that, right? I mean, look what he's got.
He'll fight the good fight, but it ain't gonna work. And I'll just say this because everybody's been talking about this today. Everybody thinks Aperture is so clean.
Okay.
So clean, huh? Man.
Barry, you got the goods, I bet you.
Oh, they're so screwed.
You found some dirt and crack, did you?
Man, well, you guys have been seeing what I've been saying about the.
I follow you, man. I'm all over you. And that's why I said you woke up and chose violence this morning early.
Love it, love it.
I'm sick and tired of these people spending their weekends attacking people, bro.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm right behind you. Just so you know.
Yeah, I'm right there, bud. I'm right there.
Right there.
And what can we do, right? And this is
the good people that they're attacking with smart people. You know,
and this is the best we can do, right? Is we can just bring it to the masses and bring it to the people and let the people hear what we're trying to explain and talk amongst ourselves. That because there's stuff that does not add up. It's a hard not add up, and they don't talk about it.
How the O'Keefes don't see this.
You know, let me tell you something. The funny thing is that half the stuff that we know and don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit! Oh yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah. Don't even go there. That's a bad conversation. I lose sleep over stuff like that.
Or don't say it because they might be using it. Is the other thing I wanted.
Right.
We might know what we have.
I know they don't.
You know, if we're smart people, they're probably a little bit smarter than we are and have a little bit more resources than we have. That's why, like a couple of creators that make videos, like Flipperhead. He just sent me a video today, and he clipped all these people that testified for the prosecution, and it was all lies.
Yep,
every single fucking.
Been doing it all week.
Isn't it crazy?
But when you put it in a mashup of like 10 minutes,
you're
blown away because you forget so much about what's happening.
I know.
So how do you anchor the defense when you close this? Do you close it with Proctor, Acker? What do you Albert Higgins? Like that's what I like. What's the bat lineup going to be? I know Stogra was a great number one hitter.
Right.
So I want to remind you of something about the defense has been doing going back to trial one. Okay,
All right.
they lay foundation with guys in Canton, correct?
Yes.
So Kevin Albert,
Yep.
okay,
Helena Rafferty.
you
Yep.
you do Kevin Albert
Oh,
before
early.
Michael Proctor.
Okay.
Right.
Before.
Okay.
Okay.
You know why?
And you
Yep.
stack on them. You stack on what they
Stack-
talk. Yep.
You stack
Yep.
onto Proctor. So anyone that can be utilized on this side of the case, then you stack on Proctor because
Right.
you're not opening the door for Proctor to do his woe is
I don't
me.
recall. I don't remember.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. And you limit what he can be crossed on by Brennan to the previous testimony entered by the defense. That's how you do it.
All right. Let me ask you a question. And this is gonna kind of be a tough one.
I don't think so.
Forget about what you know. Try and put your head into the jury on trial one, right? And how they had that distractor comment, and that one guy was seemingly leading the pack, we'll say.
Mm-hmm.
How does the defense kind of negate that person if that person turns out to be a similar situation that we have now, if that's what's shaping up? Do you understand? Like, how do we keep it from happening the first trial? Keep that from happening now. How does the defense go about that?
Well, that's why Olivia George is there.
Okay.
That's why. And
Gotcha.
anyone that has observations regarding the juror reactions and behaviors,
Yeah.
is going to provide the kind of insights on what they need to do for the rest of this case and their closing. Hit the points that they've been observing during this trial so that they are reminded of why the Commonwealth has wasted their time. You do that, that will be the right thing to do before they go into deliberations.
I don't even think the Commonwealth is even close to a definite prosecution. There's so much reasonable doubt with all their witnesses out of the jump that I'm like, if I'm a layman and the jury's a younger jury this time and it's mixed in ethnics and things like that, I think that's a great thing from last year. And
yeah,
they got to be thinking to themselves, what are we listening to here? Now you're going to bring in on the defense, on their directs, so much more that they're going to kind of sit back and go. And you have Alan Jackson, you have David Dinetti, Liza presenting this.
It's going to be very important after the defense rests,
right,
that we watch and listen to how the prosecution, the defense, Judge Cannone lay out the rules of the road.
Oh shit!
For the jury instructions. Okay, it's going to be very important, and obviously, the form, making sure that form is not.
Oh my God! Yes,
it's going to be very important.
It was so convoluted last time. I mean, shit. I read it. Are you shitting me?
Yeah.
Barry, another couple real quick, two different things. You said waste of time, right? This trial. What have you seen? Not what you know, but what have you seen the jury the Hank actually present as evidence? Like what will the jurors take from what the prosecution just threw at them for 6 weeks?
Yeah. What was the most compelling witness, I guess, for the prosecution, Tom? Is that what you're trying to get
Yes. Like what did
I don't have one.
Big take? Yeah.
I don't have one. But
so you're talking about evidence and testimony that the Commonwealth has introduced in this case.
The jury sitting there, the guy there reading the book.
Yes.
Their charges.
Yes.
Is that what you're asking?
Yes. What'd you see?
I don't like the fact that defense has not gotten into the record that Karen has had to deal with an involuntary blood draw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't like that.
Okay.
All right.
I
That's brought up.
would have loved to have seen argument on how that blood draw was an illegal
Yes.
search and
Oh,
Yep.
seizure,
Yeah,
seizure,
yeah.
you're saying.
Yep.
okay.
So she didn't give it with her permission. They just took it. Is what
They
you're
took
telling me?
it. Yep.
Because of the sex,
Intake.
apparently, which I don't know enough about what is permitted under that.
I think they have to because if you need medication, they can't have anything that'll conflict for you. It'll be
Karen
that's on them. They
Karen
can't.
never advised the hospital if she ever wanted medicine.
And she was on meds to begin with for her other conditions, so
Right. So
that changes everything.
if she was asked and advised that she didn't need any medicine, there would be no need.
Barry, I think you need to be read your rights before that's taken. Isn't that true?
With what?
Didn't she need to have her
Miranda?
rights, her Miranda rights read to her before they took the blood draw?
Not in the hospital.
Care
Tommy.
control custody.
Not-
Care control custody. They controlled and they controlled Karen. She was under their control, but in a locked unit, not their control, but under control.
She or someone else would have to provide that consent on their forms in order for any procedures or processes that would allow her to be admitted under that section.
Yeah, she didn't need a Miranda. So thank you,
Right.
Nan.
The
Gary,
doctor's relation covers that.
another big question. What does it say? This is a different direction. I'm not trying to trip you up, but
Yeah.
what does it say when you have something like this? $1 million out of $10, $18, $10. You know how many $10 donations you need to get to $1 million? You know.
Oh yeah.
What does that say right there?
This community's
Rocking.
it's the best from a historical perspective, guys.
Yes, yes.
This is without a doubt the most impressive community for any defendant who is trying to uphold the rights of the First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, and the 14th Amendment.
Yep.
It's never been done.
Yep,
Never been done, dude.
Right.
Never.
Wow.
And why? Because a lot of us are from Massachusetts, and a lot of us care about the Constitution.
Yep.
A lot of us care about journalism.
Yep.
And a lot of us care about receiving a fair trial.
Mhm.
That's why.
Yes.
That's why.
Man,
And
well
and
said,
this
bro.
and this guys, when she's acquitted, she's going to
She
be.
will be.
This is just the beginning.
Okay.
Just the beginning.
I think she does the tour. I think she does the book tour, law tour. Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope she does. People
Yeah,
need to hear about this if they
If
have.
she has the energy, if she chooses to do
Yeah.
it.
Right,
Whatever,
right.
whatever the Reed family wants to do.
I mean, they can
Yeah,
sit home and
probably.
make videos on YouTube and just change the world that way.
But that just shows you from Friday when they came out and met the crowd across the street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
How
was
much
beautiful. Wasn't
that
that
to me
something?
was powerful.
Yep.
Powerful.
Yeah, dude.
And they always do that, Barry. They're always open to the people
Yeah.
because they're regular people. They're wonderful, awesome humans.
So
Yeah.
the Reed family's from Taunton.
Yeah.
I'm from Swansea. So
Oh, you know.
I understand that area. We're all
Oh, yeah.
dude, we're all pretty fucking mellow down there, bro.
Yeah.
This is what this is how we roll down there. We're not near Boston,
Yes, you're not Dorchester. You're not Roxbury.
No.
You guys are a little more laid back.
We just fucking do our thing, bro. And
Mm-hmm.
that's how we are down there.
What do you think? Where do you think you put Barrows in the middle of all this in your callings or towards the end? Because someone brought that up this morning to me this morning. Like, do you anchor Barrows near the end?
Actually, you know what I would do?
Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to hear how your lineup would go.
I would anchor Barrows with Arca.
Okay. Yeah. That
Okay.
makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know why?
That backs him up. That just stacks on.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Anchor barrels with Arca.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Before, and I've heard from, I think Brian LTL was on the other day, yesterday, and he said that Arca's presentation slides are going to be, didn't have any last year, but
Yes.
they're going to have a shitload
Oh,
of
yeah.
videos to show you,
Yeah.
the trajectory,
More
and the
audio,
science.
more
Yeah.
visual, more
Yeah.
visual for the jury. I like that
and
idea.
I'm going to tell you something else. So you guys know I've been really hardcore about this Kumo precedent, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Reliable evidence from expert witnesses.
Right.
So one of the things that I think everybody needs to remember is that Welcher did not go over his scenarios.
Right.
Oh, he didn't,
Okay.
did he? Oh,
So
I missed that.
Arca is going to discuss all of the scenarios. And you know how we know this? Because if you think about the Sorger's testimony yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
he was running probability factors based on the errors that
His
was never
report.
testified to
Right.
by
Yep.
Aperture. That's why the defense was trying to get the Sorga to say, all right, what was the probability of the timelines lining up between had there been an accident and had there not been one? And
Well, that's the trigger. Was there a trigger or wasn't there a trigger?
Right,
The answer
yeah.
was no trigger.
30%.
That's what the jury heard. That's what the
30%
jury heard.
trigger.
There was no
Yeah.
trigger.
yeah,
Keep it simple, stupid. Kiss, right?
Yeah,
Right.
do you
Keep,
think that was
they
too
don't know
much
like we
yesterday
know.
for them? You think the jury like that? All that data was
yeah.
just like
so
You
Sue,
look,
Sue,
Lou.
Lou.
You know him.
hey,
You
crack
know
Lou.
that dude.
So Sue was really good this week.
Okay, I've been on her.
Her
Okay.
I know you have, dude. So her juror observations,
Mm-hmm.
they don't want to hear from Brennan anymore. They do
Okay.
not want to hear from Brennan anymore. He went 2 hours over 3 seconds yesterday because the
I
man
know.
has
Yeah.
remember what I said? He has no timeline. So he's trying to shave seconds off, and it's taking him hours. And based on what Sue's saying, they're like, this
Fuck this guy.
motherfucker, I swear to fucking God, when is this shit going to be over? I don't want to hear from you anymore.
Right.
My
So when
goodness.
Jackson is up there,
Oh, they're all.
all right,
Yeah, they'll pop right up.
what do you got?
Yep.
Because guess what?
Here we go.
We believe you right now.
Yeah.
Brennan, on the other hand, is, like I said, he's running this trial like he's in a federal courtroom, and
Okay.
these people are not going to be jurors in a federal court.
Okay.
It's not the kind of juror that would be in a federal court.
I mean, the prosecution's own prosecution's own witness, Kerry Roberts, admitted on the stand to lying to a state grand jury.
I know.
She
I
admitted
remember
it.
that shit.
So you gotta bring that
Yeah.
back home again.
You're
Jen
just fucking
McCabe's
weird. They're stacking so much reasonable doubt that the Commonwealth case cannot be believed.
Jen McCabe.
They're calling bad witnesses.
But what they have.
Yeah.
Imagine if they called Higgins. Imagine if they called the Alberts.
Oh my
Imagine if they called anyone, right? So they're fucked either way. Good, Lank, any of those guys.
Guys,
All right. Time out. Snapshot.
Let me
How
tell you something.
has this
Brian
affect-
Albert Jr.
Yep.
Gay boy, yeah.
is the witness in that house.
You're on something there, my friend. His car, his timeline doesn't
Everything.
add up. We went
Never
over this the other day.
When he was going to bed, he testified, and I quote, the only other 2 people in the house was Caitlin and his mom.
Huh. Where'd everybody go?
Mike, who was not in that little group of who was in the house when he was going to bed?
Well, there should have been 4 people, more people there. There should have been Albert Sr., right?
Stop right there.
Right.
His testimony did not include his dad.
Right. I never saw my dad or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Brian
know.
Albert Sr., according to his testimony, he wasn't in the house when he was going to bed. There were a lot of slips of tongue in trial 1 that
Oh,
can be
God.
used in this trial if any of these witnesses are called.
Allie McCabe.
Brian Albert Jr.
Oh my God.
one of them.
Yeah.
Guess who the other one is?
Matt McCabe.
No, fuck him.
Oh, in the
Fuck
house.
him.
I
In the
thought
house,
he
you
was
mean?
there. Him and Jen were there. How would Jen get there? You know, they do it together. So not
It's
them.
better. It's better than Matt
Higgins,
McCabe.
Higgins,
Nagel.
Colin.
Nagel.
No. Allie.
Yeah,
No,
the
Allie
Colin.
McCabe. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got some explaining to do. She's got some explaining to do. The dog incident at the Canton
Yeah.
PD.
That's
The
weird.
timeline doesn't fit up with her, her tracking device with her.
But
you know,
she had to
What
find
did
a
she say?
reason,
What did
Mike.
she
She
say was
had to
in the
find a
house when
reason
she
to go to
showed up at
Canton
the house?
PD. She had to find a reason to go
No,
there, Mike.
Tommy's
That's
right.
why.
Tommy's right. Yeah,
She
she
had to
never
find
found
a
a
reason.
dog. She never found a dog. And Sean Good yells out at her, "Do you want to take it back to her?" Remember, that's why
Yeah.
you call Sean Good too, right, Barry?
Yes.
Barry, I mean, allegedly Sean Good said to Allie, "Hey, why don't you take it back to the house where we know it's from now, since you're out?" So that puts her out even more if she did that.
Right.
This is why Deaver being called on Friday, who's in dispatch, who's no longer there.
Huge. It's
Yep.
huge.
Yep.
It's sign-in logs.
Yeah.
Sign-in logs.
Why
and dispatch logs.
I'm gonna ask a rhetorical question. I already know the answer to this. But why did Good send Deaver home at 12 o'clock ish or whatever it was?
She wasn't part of the program. She wasn't playing that game.
She was
Right.
an employee.
She wasn't privy
She
to
wasn't.
the inside info. Even in the cop department, there's people that are just like everyone else, not
It's
privy to the info. Beat
Yeah.
it.
All right. And
She's
then she goes to
foundation-
Boston
she's
PD.
foundation on those logs, not only on that night, but
Yeah.
any other shift that she worked.
That's right.
Did
Yeah.
listen? I want to throw in just
So, like, hey, Tommy, hold on. So think about it, right? Higgins was at CPD that morning.
Yep.
Was she still
day.
working?
All day.
She was working when Higgins got
you
there.
see him. We
I
don't
believe
know.
so. I believe she was just taken out of dispatch and just moved out of there so that Goody could take the calls. That's what I think.
Send her
Wait,
back
so
in the car.
She was working that overnight shift when Higgins showed up at CPD. Is that correct?
Yes.
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 Well, you know why that's
That's
one of the
what
reasons why she's
Gonna put him in. She's gonna put him there all the time.
Well, no, get this. Yeah, and get this. Imagine if Higgins didn't sign a login when he showed up. Not good.
He swiped in though, right? I mean, that's just one
Yeah,
way
key
to get
swipes
in
to get in.
Yeah. Key
Right.
swipe. Yeah.
But that can be handed off to anybody, right? I guess. I mean, it doesn't really, right? It can be Brian Albert using.
How do
his key card to
how
get
do
in.
we know? We don't know if he used someone else's key swipe.
Right.
Right.
Oh my.
I
We
mean,
don't know.
Yeah, you don't. It could
Yeah.
be something different. You're absolutely right.
Right.
But it's motive, opportunity, and means, right? So I go back to Higgins. Motive, I want
same.
Karen, right? Right.
Yeah.
So how do you not call Higgins? How do you fucking not? And then you call.
Oh, they're calling Higgins.
All right.
You
So
have
how do you wrap Proctor? How do you wrap Proctor's testimony to nail down? Because Michael Proctor was doing a solid for the good old boys. That's all he was trying to do.
Yep.
And Tully was up there as the puppet master, making sure the shit went through.
He
Right.
was errand boy.
Right.
No questions, Mike.
Errand boy.
Absolutely, right there.
So
Errand boy for Fanning.
So he's no longer a detective, Tully, which has been talked about in open court for the last couple of weeks. That to me was damning. He's no longer a detective. What the fuck? Hammer that home. Hammer that home.
Those are breadcrumbs that the defense has been wisely putting in place to let them know that there are witnesses that have not been called that have gotten in trouble because of this case on the first time around.
There you go.
Real
There you
quick,
go.
It is.
I'm going to throw this out every time I can. What about witnesses? What about Sandra Birchmore?
She's dead.
What about
Tommy.
Sam?
Yeah, exactly. What about her?
She's no.
No,
Call
she
witness. I'm like,
gets lost in this whole thing.
No.
telling
Not.
I think because they did that wrong. That whole
well,
with Sandra. They knew what to do
Liza tried to do it in pretrial. She tried to bring in some of the Birchmore
for a
cops.
reason.
Yeah,
For a
because-
reason.
because of
Yes.
Karen.
Yeah.
Okay, but I thought you said
know why?
Alexander Birchmore. I'm like, what?
Listen,
No,
when you have-
her
when you have-
information.
when you have bad public officials and money involved,
Yeah, nothing good.
no, nothing good.
No.
Anything
No.
that is, listen, a fraud is anything of value, either
Okay.
monetarily or non-monetarily. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Work services, whatever you want to call it.
yes, that's
Like
right.
that Tom Brady for the Norfolk County Sheriff's Department just got fired for taking the plumber out of the sheriff's department in Norfolk County and having him do work at his house. He got
Yeah.
caught by the FBI, lost his pension, his job, everything.
I know.
Fucking
There are
stupid.
people that have lost their jobs. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Michelle's lost her job, right? For what? It makes no sense, dude.
Right.
None.
Right.
So yeah, dude, Higgins.
You gotta
He's-
call him.
he's-
Means opportunity.
No,
and-
listen.
right?
So think about what Flipperhead and JFK and Microdots have done with that waterfall video.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Huge, huge,
Huge.
absolutely massive.
It's
Yep.
huge because, like we've all been saying, this timeline didn't start at Fairview.
No.
It starts, frankly, it starts when John went to D&E Pizza
Pizza.
Yep.
to go
With his
see
nephew.
Kevin Albert.
With his nephew.
That's
Yep.
when this started.
Yep. And guess who was having pizza there at the same time? Brian Albert. Who's in there
I'm
having
just-
pizza.
I'm
Yeah.
just, guys.
I know it's so
People
many
act
fucking
like
twists.
John-
Yeah.
People act like John and the Alberts, and they were friendly, but like not tight. Dude, they all knew each other, bro. They all knew each
Small
other.
town.
Small town, man.
They all drank at the same place. They've all
Yes.
drank together.
Yeah.
Of course they have.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know what kind of story you guys are trying to feed, but in a town of 22,000 and change,
Oh,
it's
you're-
smaller than
when-
Swansea, and I'm from Swansea, dude. And Swansea's small. Right? Canton's small.
Yeah.
no,
I just
I agree with that. It's sad that Sandra had to lose her life and John had to lose his life, and who else that we don't know about? Craig Casey.
Yep.
We don't know
Justin
about
Root.
that. Justin Root. Well, we know about that. We saw what they did there.
I know what
This
I've
is-
been told. This is there's things that people don't like that predated all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you.
Yep,
Barry. I believe that.
Absolutely. This
This
went off
isn't-
too quick. It was too
Yeah,
too
this
nice.
is not their first time doing this. This has
No.
been something they've been doing for a
Mikey,
while.
you and I, Mike,
Yeah.
I need a
Yeah.
walk.
Yep.
Okay. Hey, you need I'm trying. I don't. What's a ring light?
It just lights up your face.
Oh yeah.
You have the little circle ones.
You look fine. Yeah, you look fine, dude.
Look good.
I'm
If you,
sorry.
you might as well- if you want to get one, because
So-
you're gonna be coming back on. So I don't know
Yeah.
what to tell you. So you might as
Go
well
like,
get one.
go
'cause
like,
you're
like
probably,
Family Dollar. They have them.
you'll probably end up doing the
like
rounds.
$10. They're nice. They're not bad.
Hey,
Best Buy has them. Yeah.
I got you. All right. So, John O'Keefe was Godfather, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you talking to his partner
His
Dolores
partner.
Sullivan.
from
Dolores
Boston PD?
Sullivan.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing is not right.
And listen,
Patrick,
hold on,
yeah,
hold on. And Pat's child, as you know.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. And we all know what's been seen and reported regarding what happened with Pat.
Mm-hmm.
I will stop there.
Okay. Me too. Me too.
I don't think we need to. I think we need to keep going and open people's eyes.
Well,
Hey guys,
Again, if you think what happened to John is horrible, you never know what happened to other people. Could be
and
worse.
we all know that Chief Rafferty reported to
Short and shiny.
the select board that he had went to
That's
the detectives department
yeah.
and filed a complaint regarding the drug activity.
Yes.
Why would they all go to New York together
I don't know.
for a funeral for someone they don't even know?
I don't know.
Overtime. Overtime.
Yeah, it happens all the time, Tommy.
Yeah, I know, but
Overtime.
maybe there was
Especially-
another motive behind that.
It's a fucking road trip, man. Drinking.
Yeah,
That's
it's
all
just
doing.
I don't see him caring that much.
No, it's money and a good time.
Yeah.
Law enforcement, especially in New York, you know,
It's different.
yes, especially on something that's pretty tragic. Like I can tell you right now, in my industry, there are two New York City police officers, officers Ramos and Lou. And some asshat decided to take a Greyhound bus, cross state lines with a firearm while on the bus, which is illegal. It's a,
Mhm.
it's a federal, yeah,
Yep.
you're violating a federal statute. Was bragging on social media um, that he was going to go to New York City and kill some cops. We were trying, yeah, we were trying to track him down. Okay, all right,
Mhm.
and by the time he got off the bus, he had vanished into New York City and killed a couple of, you know.
He
NY
walked up to me. They were sitting in the car, right? And
Yes,
just
that's
out of the
right,
blue. It's
Tommy, that's
horrible. I
right,
remember
okay,
that. That
yeah.
was a disaster.
Right. So suffice it to say, yeah, when you lose a couple of guys like that,
Yeah.
yes,
Yep.
the guys, Lon, I back the blue, dude.
Yeah.
I don't back
Without a doubt.
bad blue,
Yeah.
No,
course.
but
not that aspect
I
of it.
back the blue. I always will. And yeah, when something when you have law enforcement coming together, especially in New York City, that's not uncommon. So you know,
Yeah.
it's just it's something that that trip, whoever they're going to salute,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
All right. So
It's a-
back
You know
to
what? I got some thoughts here. I don't know if we have if we have any questions in chat that you want to cover, but we can do that.
yeah. Chat. Anything in question? Put a question mark before and after so that your questions in the middle of it, and we'll get up on the screen. And so, where are you looking forward to with the defense's presentation? What's the one thing you want them to come out with? Like, because
I want them to win every witness.
well, they've been doing a lot of winning lately. At the
No,
end of the day, they've been doing well.
I want every witness. I want them to win every witness, so that
I
there
don't
is
care.
no doubt for this jury that
Yeah.
they're coming back inside of 4 hours and
Yeah. That's what we were thinking from jump on the
Exactly.
trial one.
Yep.
Everybody was saying, I don't know how they deliberate for 4 more hours.
Right.
It's 5 fucking days.
Well, we
5
know
fucking
now what we
Now
know
we know.
about the makeup of that juror, and I think the simplicity of this jury could really be a big deal.
Gotcha.
Okay,
Gotcha.
Who is Pat and Kathy?
okay.
Pat-
Well, I know who Pat is.
Yeah,
Patty, I don't know who Kathy is.
People don't.
Okay,
The Sullivan girls.
okay. So
Leave it.
Kathy, all right. Pat was
John's
BPD.
partner. Yep.
Yeah,
John.
Boston, he was on Boston Finest.
and Brian's
Yep.
and
Boston Finest.
John, yeah, Boston Finest.
Yep.
God
Joe
bless him.
Show. Yep.
And Pat had a child, and John O'Keefe was their godfather.
Right.
And then
So
going
were
into
close.
hold on, going into the second
Season.
season,
yes.
it was reported that Pat committed suicide.
Yep. In his own house in the cellar.
Yeah.
Cleaning
Imagine
his
that.
gun, or,
Cleaning his gun.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think, Mikey?
That's the cleanest way to do it, right? You just say he was unhappy. You seem depressed in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm told is that how they found him. But yeah.
Yeah.
And it was the night before the opening night of season 2.
That's right.
Like Wahlbergs were in town. There was he was happy. Let me just tell you that right now.
Do you think that's a little coincidental?
Yeah.
It's all
Absolutely.
wrong. It's all wrong. That whole situation.
So you know the girl that was in the car with Pat?
The what?
The officer that was in the car with Pat Rogers,
Yeah.
right? Guess who ended up fucking her? Brian Albert. During
Shocking.
the show.
Shocking.
I went to school with Timmy, the big tall guy. I don't know if you remember who he is, but yeah. So his name's Tim, Boston cop. I went to high school. He was a couple of years older than me. He's in Florida now, retired.
Yeah.
He was doing boxing with Brian.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
spa
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah.
Do we know if the current homeowner of 34 has allowed anyone in the house/garage to investigate?
No idea.
I do believe so. Over the summer, there was a van, and there were 2 men with containment
Pat
suits
Rogers, yeah.
that
yeah.
were taking stuff out. And Karen also made a comment that we didn't know, that she actually has the rug out of the upstairs. So she's got that in a climate controlled environment, paying for that every month.
There's so many angles in this case. It's like so
We
many
don't
different
know if
things.
he's getting called. I wish we did. We don't know. And what did Pat know? I'm assuming that was, we don't know. That's the thing. There's a lot revolving around that TV show. We don't know.
And
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that I'm being quite clear about this. Like Mike, I have spoken with friends of John,
Yep.
and I know what their suspicions are. That doesn't mean it's mine. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. But,
There's
it's
too many.
just it's just sad that, when you think about what the O'Keefes have been through,
Oh my God.
John's sister,
Yep.
Yeah.
The brother-in-law. It's
It's
a never-ending disaster. I don't know how they do it. God
yeah,
love them. God love them. The
Yeah.
strength that they have and what they've had to go through.
Yeah.
Wow. Just
Yeah.
wow.
yeah, because when I see what the aunties have been doing, like, dude, I don't know what the fuck your problem is, but shut the fuck up.
That's what their lawyer tells me all the time. Jill Daniels' lawyer. That was a great
Jesus.
thing.
I hate these fucking people.
How do
Like,
they sleep at night? How do they really, Barry? How do they sleep with
I am
some of this stuff?
I am so sick of them. So sick.
I know.
And
I am
nothing
spending
happens.
way too much fucking time not golfing and dealing with their fucking bullshit. So if you're in here, fuckers,
They always are.
fucking douchebags.
I'll take
Yeah,
the
so-
watch time. They watch us. We're good.
I don't
Thank
give a
you.
So,
fuck what they think you're doing. You're
Make sure you hit the
losers.
thumbs up and
You're
then
in here,
subscribe,
trolls.
bud.
so Michael Proctor's friend, let's talk about him from Friday. That got up there and said that was your text message. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He brought a fucking lawyer with him. He lawyered up.
Yeah,
Right away.
I don't know why.
And
All I
she
know
has
is
not
that
moved-
all I know is that apparently Proctor has friends that look a lot younger than him, and his name is Chip.
Bear or Chip, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
Chip
his
B.
nickname.
Yeah, it's
Weird,
Chip
isn't
B.
that? Adults calling each other like that? That's
So
What a
this is
fuck-
the guy that went to high school with him, known him for 30
If you're
years.
that
They're
old,
still
who
in
the
high
fuck
school,
do you
Mike.
call Chip, dude. I
They're
mean,
still in
seriously,
high school.
fucking Chip. Okay, Chip off the old block. What the fuck? Let's go. My
The
God.
thing about text chain is that it can bring in the other 3 friends of his, the other 3 unnamed people who I would think would be Mechanic, Tully, and maybe Fanning or Connor or whoever was involved with that. But the other thing that really bothers me too is that the case manager, not lead detective. You have Buchanan saying he's the case manager, and then Connor right after him, same testimony, calls him the lead investigator. Then you have Colonel Noble in a report calling him trooper lead investigator of the Karen Reed case. So it's like Buchanan making up his own verbiage as he goes along to try to protect.
Jury's
himself.
smart enough to read semantics.
Okay.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I see stuff like that, like Ronnie said, that's a fucking distractor.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It means nothing.
Why
fact
focus
that
on
he
it,
was
right?
assigned to the case, and it's already coming out that he lost his job and made mistakes on the case without even getting on the stand.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it tells you about the integrity of the investigation. And for anybody that's listening in here, at the end of the day, if they have no blood DNA, skin cell biological matter DNA on the housing, or on the
Mm.
taillight,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you can't
Like Russell.
conclusively prove
Yeah.
that there was an accident. And that's, to me, is the most important evidence of this case.
Barry, the scratch
yeah.
marks that they're saying came from the taillight, they don't even line up with his arm.
Yeah,
Like his arm, they're in a different direction. His
I know.
are up and down. This would have to go. It just doesn't math.
I know. It's
The
like,
FBI,
yeah.
we know the FBI is still watching. They have not left. There's no reason for them to leave the building. They got all this money invested. I promise you, it's a good investment.
I mean,
It's
even
a very good
Portobello.
investment, and it's definitely tied to Sandra Birchmore and how the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office
Yes.
coordinates investigations with local police departments.
Bingo.
Right.
Okay.
How come
That's what-
Richard D'Antonio with Ryan that night wasn't called?
I'm
He
sorry.
was driving
yeah.
that.
The truck
Ryan
driver
that pulled
the
up by
Ford.
Karen.
What's his?
Oh,
You said it,
you
Mike.
mean
Ryan
what's his-
D'Antonio, right?
D'Antonio.
yeah,
Yeah.
Richard. I'm
Ricky,
sorry,
Ricky,
Richard.
Ricky yeah.
Richard.
Well, because he knows not only there was no Jeep there.
No, well,
Right.
that's the whole thing.
Okay, so there was no look. Higgins didn't drive to 34 Fairview.
Gotcha.
Okay, he
gotcha.
didn't drive there. His
Yeah.
Jeep was at the waterfall.
Okay.
I mean, not at the waterfall, at Hillside. Okay.
Yeah.
His Jeep was at Hillside.
Okay.
Right.
I believe that. Yep. I
Yeah.
believe that.
Brian Albert
Okay.
Jr. testified in trial 1 when he went to bed. The other two people in the house was his mom and his sister.
And Caitlin. Yeah, everyone else is gone.
Right.
Happy
Allegedly.
birthday.
Tells you where was his dad?
Where was Piggy?
Where was Brian Albert? Knowing Brian Albert Jr.'s testimony at that time when he went to bed. Because according to Brian Albert Jr., he wasn't there. Additionally, Brian Albert Jr. knows who was in the house around 12:30.
Sure.
Every person in the house.
Yep.
Now, when if you ever decide to re-review his testimony, out of all of the witnesses in that house, he's the nicest one out of them.
Weakest link.
He's a good kid. He's smart. He's an IT guy to boot.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So when you think about the witnesses that can really just tell the truth,
Yeah, blow it
the
up.
whole truth, and nothing but the truth, that would be him. Based on what he saw, based on who was there, based on what he heard, on what he heard.
Now, there's a report that was submitted. I don't know if Trooper Prince did it. That actually Chris Albert was at 34 Fairview.
Mm-hmm.
Did you guys ever see that report?
How? He said he walked home from the waterfall.
I
How can he end
understand.
up
I
there,
mean,
Mike?
There's a police report with Chris Albert and his wife being there. No one's talked
That's
about it.
weird. Huh?
Well, maybe, and obviously we don't know this, but maybe when Higgins, Albert, and Albert were having their hug along on the band stage,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Chris got Higgy's keys.
Yeah.
And
Ooh.
obviously we don't know that, but
Right.
maybe that happens.
Makes
Okay.
sense too if he was drinking all day.
How does Colin fit in all this? Did you call Colin? Did you call Colin to the stand? Was that a distractor? Because he wasn't named in the third party culvert. Higgins, Senior, and Higgins, Brian Albert Senior, and who was the third one they were going to bring in? Was it Colin? No, it wasn't Colin.
Brian.
Colin was the other third party culprit in the last trial. We all
Yeah.
know. Well,
Yeah, those three. Brian,
we know.
Colin.
We know things about that night before Colin went to 34 Fairview that hopefully will see the light of day in this second trial.
Right.
He's not been talked about this part two. He's not.
But do you bring that up, Barry? Do you bring him up and
And
use
I
that?
know how it's brought in.
Yeah,
Right.
that's my question,
Yes,
Barry. How do you
yes.
get it in?
In.
How are you gonna get him in? Who's gonna bring his name up? Who's gonna? Is
Can't say yet, dude, but I think you know who.
I'm thinking, McCabe,
Who?
Allie McCabe maybe brings it in if she's called.
I think Jen's got her hands in it from freaking
I don't
go.
know. I
The
don't know.
whole
Like, how do
time,
you
dude.
get Colin? How do you get Colin in there? How do you get that? How do you get him up there? How do you get his name in the mix? Because let's face it, we all think he threw a punch, right? We all think he was the one doing whatever he was doing. We all
My
think he was cutting through John's lawn.
my theory is him and Colin had a beef because Colin had a party in John's backyard
Not
when
only
he was
that,
on
but
vacation.
he
He
was
messed
part
with
of
him.
the complaint in Canton for the drug dealing on.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
So there was issues there. So when John walked in thinking he
Yeah.
was going to an after party, he hears music upstairs. He
Yeah.
walks upstairs and Colin's coming down. What are you doing in this house? Fucking you don't belong here. He'd never been there before, right? He was a complete stranger to the house. Colin knows this.
Right. Yeah.
Colin's gonna take advantage of it and be a tough guy. All his boys are behind him. Watch me beat this ass.
So what we don't
Didn't
know
work
though,
out too good.
is Colin's phone records. He was served by the FBI at college.
Yep.
Okay.
They
know
found
more
him.
than all of us, right? They know more than all of us. They know where the phone was, right? So they can't bring it in through that through the TUI report, obviously, because that's protected and under under lock and key. But in the first trial, it was all in there. I don't know how it was brought into the first trial, because it wasn't a third party culprit situation. Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So how do you bring Colin into it? The only way you can
It's
do it
actually it's not as complicated as you think.
I'm overthinking it.
Yeah.
I'm overthinking it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where let me just ask, do you remember where he was before he went to 34 Fairview?
Yeah, he was doing shotguns with
Shots.
the friends at
Dylan's.
some.
Dylan made him do a shot.
He did shotgun and beers at someone's house down the street.
Yeah, what road is that in Canton?
I forget. It was like
Is
a
it
mile.
Eagle? Is it Eagle? Is it Eagle?
Eagle?
Yeah, that sounds all right.
All right, that's where Mike Leonetti's family lives.
Thank you. That's the name. Michael is his name. Yeah. So he gets dropped off there by someone at that party, or did a McCabe pick him up there from his again with Colin's text screenshot with no metadata? Hey,
But
I'm
they
ready,
should
come get
match
me.
up. The
But come
times
get
and
me
the
where?
calls are matching on two different phones, Mike. If I call you,
Allie's going to have a very tough.
Thank you. I
Yep.
didn't want to say it. I was saying
Yep.
McCabe, but I think
Yep.
Allie's going to have a very tough trial too.
I like where your head's up, Eric.
I like that. Yep.
And you
Right on the
know
money.
why?
Absolutely.
You know why she's going to have a tough trial too. You know.
So again, how do we get the jury, or
Oh,
how
yeah,
does the defense get the jury to absorb this and say this is my
Hey, listen,
takeaway? Like
listen,
this is our takeaway.
Yeah. No, great question, Tommy. So, if you think about Stonebridge in trial 1, right? Great doctor, smart. If you recall, she was never crossed by the defense.
That's right. The one
Okay.
with the tats, with the one with the tattoos.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was a distractor. Everybody's looking for their wives and shit. Yeah, she kind of was. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So Stonebridge, out of all the trial 1 testimony, was so smart. She was too smart for a jury.
Mm-hmm.
The defense has done quite good on making sure that the jury understands what they're saying, so that they can actually deliberate on what the facts of this case are
Properly.
as they're presented.
Yep.
So yeah.
Don't leave room for
As long as Alessi doesn't get too much into the weeds on some of this stuff.
the only reason he was brought into the weeds was because
Oh, I
Welcher
know
brought him
that.
there. Yeah, okay.
Because it's
Other
British.
than that, he's been fucking perfect. And
Yeah.
then to nail down was there a trigger from DeSorjo on Friday? Was there a trigger event at that time or at any time? No. To me, that's simplicity to the jurors.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was no trigger, so she didn't hit anybody. Let's just move
No.
on. That's all. That's all they're thinking. They don't need 2 hours of 3 seconds, in my opinion, right?
You're right. No,
No.
Mike, you're right. And they're arguing about milliseconds, bud.
Well,
Like-
it's not just that, but frankly, so when you think about how, never mind her bad rulings, especially the Sally Port stuff is insane.
Right.
But when you're in a 2-hour period over 3 seconds like that,
Fuck.
Canoni should be
Let's
move on.
Yeah.
Asked and answered
Yeah.
to death, dude.
Let's go. Right.
Asked and answered.
She
Move
doesn't
on.
give. She gives Hank so much leeway.
But she's not giving him anything because DeSogra yesterday.
Crushed him.
was like,
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
What a guy. What a
Yeah,
great
because-
witness.
and you're asking me it in like 50 different ways. And
Off the top of his head, he's like, "Let me think
No
about
notes.
that. Let me
That dude
Yeah.
had it right there. The
Yeah.
other dude was a
Yeah.
mess with everything.
Right.
And he had it right there.
so it's
That's
like,
wonderful. That's perfect.
it's just the defense isn't going to get through their case in a week and a half like this.
No.
If Brennan doesn't be a dick and fight about 3 seconds,
Hey,
every,
Canoni,
you know-
Canoni should be blaming him.
But doesn't
the
that
time.
help? Don't you think that'll backfire? And the jury will. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
the jury's already seeing it, right?
They'll
Yeah,
check out. I think
absolutely.
they'll check out.
They've
Yeah.
already been seeing it. They didn't. Hell, when they had their first couple of witnesses, they were like, "You're an
True.
idiot."
Yep.
I mean, you're an idiot.
Hey, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. You guys can say whether they should call him or not. I'll just go down real quickly. Obviously, Brian Albert, Brian Jr., we think they should call, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Caitlin Albert, who lied to a
Absolutely.
grand jury about what time she left originally.
Yep.
Does she hurt or does she distract? I guess is the way I want to look at it. Is she just fluff, or does the dog come
No,
to play with her at all?
I think she's solid. I think she's a real
So you bring her in or out? She in or out?
in. Bring her in.
It
Barry?
depends on the testimony of certain witnesses in the house,
Okay. Okay.
especially
Call.
her mom.
Okay. Chris Albert. He was at the waterfall. I don't know if he.
Oh no, Chris Albert's in, dude.
Okay.
Not
Colin
for-
Albert.
He was
If
trying
you
to
have
calm.
that
He
thing, like,
was
if you have
trying
it-
to calm him
Look.
down, wasn't he?
Well, yeah,
So you want to know
And-
what the interaction was about?
yes. Not only that, but again, Flipperhead, JFK, anyone, Microdots, obviously. Look, man, if you think about what Brennan did on his direct for the waterfall and
Yeah.
the timeline that was used, and I think it was Bukaki that did that area,
Mhm.
he purposely left out 20 minutes.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. And spelled names wrong intentionally.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about his Scrivener errors. What I care about is those 20 minutes.
Yeah.
'Cause those 20 minutes on the band stage and outside the entrance is the case.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
In addition, never mind the medical. Like,
Oh,
Why
until
didn't
they
they
have-
fight outside though? If they
until
were
they
going to
have-
fight,
until
why did they
they
go
have
outside?
any DNA on taillight pieces and
Yeah.
in the housing,
But-
I'm letting you guys know right now. That is the case. That
I'm with you.
20-minute window is the case.
Okay.
Okay, because
Okay. I can see that.
It's going to give you mens rea, since
Mhm.
Grant Duckhead likes mens rea so much on these charges. Hey, fucker, Grant, if you're in here, and I hope you are, bro, mens rea is those 20 minutes on the band stage at Waterfall, douche.
If there was no
Are
snow to
Are
plow,
you feeling me, Grant?
Julie Albert. Caller. She's the
Yeah.
one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think she helps.
Nicole Albert. The wife of
Yes,
Brian.
she lives there. Yes.
Yeah.
Caller. Okay.
Yeah, Julie and Nicole, just in case there were text messages going on during
Oh,
that
that's right.
40-hour
They
window.
were.
Yeah, so yes.
Yep.
yes.
Okay. We talked about Ricky D'Antonio,
Ricky
the
needs
driver.
to be called.
Come on, Ricky.
Okay.
You be a
And
man,
then-
man.
The retired detective Paul Giampetro, the one that had the file of the
he's-
Sally Port on his computer.
Yes.
Yeah,
That,
so,
how did it get there?
All right. So, yeah, as a potential rebuttal witness for Crawford.
Okay. Maureen Hardit, Brian Higgins, we're going to call Jutras, the IT guy for Canton.
Yep.
It all
It's
depends.
backup.
Yes, and the caveat is it all depends on how badly they need the timeline between when Karen left 34 Fairview and when she clocked into the Wi-Fi at 1 Meadows.
Yep.
Terry Kahn.
Is that the medical
uh,
examiner, Mike?
I'm trying to look it up. She was on the prosecution. Sorry. We got Lank. You got Call Lank. He was there that morning.
I know.
Heather Max has been called. Jennifer McCabe, Matthew McCabe. Yep. Ryan Nail's been called. Helena Rafferty,
Yes.
chief of police.
Custodian
And
of records
Yes.
for the Canton Police Department.
She
Michael
was,
Proctor, obviously.
yeah. She was aware of the
Listen, I'm
drug
telling you
dealer.
guys right now, Kevin Albert has to come first before Proctor. You want to get as much on Proctor through
Yeah.
Kevin Albert,
Right.
you're
Gun.
limiting
Yeah.
Proctor's ability to play victim.
And to put the family together, the Alberts and the Proctor family together at as a one unit. They knew each other. It wasn't
Right.
just a casual, hey, how you doing? It was
Yeah.
more than that. Cold cases down the Cape, drinking, guns, badges, all that shit. Laughing about it. Get those text messages in there. Right.
Kevin Albert comes to connect with Proctor.
I'm
So
with
you
you.
limit anything Proctor can claim on any direct by David Yannetti.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Then
Yep.
you go through your trial 1 transcript.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that's how he's reminded of how
Yep.
much of a fucking moron he is.
He really is.
Yep.
So we just talked about Kevin Albert, Nicole Barrow, Nicholas Barrows. We talked about Dighton,
Yep.
Aaron and Thomas Beatty.
Yes. I want to know about that 12:33 phone call.
There you
It's
go,
after.
I
brother.
want to know what Jen McCabe was doing after the fact if they were trying to intimidate a potential witness.
Bingo.
That's how you get.
Oh,
That's how
yeah.
you get called.
Yep.
That's how you get calling in. Beatties.
That
He
too.
called her. He called her. He called her for a ride.
Yeah.
If they can get that into court, we always call
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Have
you
them,
can do
right?
it that way too. You
Yeah.
call Allie in to see if she is
Yes.
lying,
Yes.
and then you could do it that way. Dude, the defense has a lot of angles because
Yes.
their witnesses are that bad. So
Yes.
all the misstatements in trial 1, that's how you do it.
Right. I
That-
think we
that's
missed a little bit. Yeah.
And
That's
how's
what-
Hank even think about dealing with that?
Okay. Ashley Bell. I'm not sure who that is. Laurie Cahill. I'm not sure. Annie Chung.
Yes.
That might be the next door neighbor, right?
Yeah.
Or okay.
Oh, yeah.
And then the Currans. I've heard a lot of things about the Currans.
I
Friends of
rely on the
Karen's.
Beatties more than the Currents.
Okay. All right. Kelly Deaver, we talked about. She's the one that was dispatched. Okay. The Chico, Donkey Lips. You call him in state
Nope.
police.
Not yet. Not
He's
until
on the
after
te-
Proctor's
he's-
called.
Yeah, he's on the he's on the text streams. Okay.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can hammer some stuff down with him.
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah, what was
Uh,
if he had any investigatory role into this? Yeah.
He's the one that called Scotty Bello or busted Proctor's balls
Yeah.
about
Yep.
not getting the okay.
Rookie.
Yeah.
All right. DeSorgo, we already talked about. Michael Easter, we know he's going to be an expert witness.
He's
right?
just not coming in. He was denied.
That's right.
She didn't let him.
Which got denied. Okay. Derek Ellington. I don't know what he does.
He's insignificant.
All right. John Fanning.
Yes.
That's how you get the Birchmore shit in if you can.
I know.
Yep.
If Bev would allow the connection to be made.
Right. Richard
Which, as
Green.
you all know,
the
which is
227. Yeah.
Yes, because we haven't heard
Richard
anything
Green.
about the data from the cell phones yet, guys.
Richard Green, 227. Search.
Yeah. I would think so. Yeah.
Where do you put him though? Like middle, beginning, end? I don't. I
They
think
got
towards
some
the
other,
end.
they have some other data experts. I think I would stack him as a part of that, like the Google guys. Google.
Okay. All right.
So
All right.
hey,
Yeah.
listen, think about it like this, right?
Yeah.
Microdots did that video regarding geofencing of
Mhm.
Yes.
persons
Yeah.
that were
Yeah.
inside that house. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, you could also weed out that expert witness on who had cell phones in that house at that time on the 29th. And that means they'll be able to testify who was in that house and when.
Correct.
Because you can run that expert before all of it.
But Michael
It's
Proctor
not only
was
is it expert testimony, but
Yeah.
it's also foundational for any of those people that were in that house that night, including those that did not testify to that in the first trial.
Right.
Okay.
So it's also foundational and it could be rebuttal.
Okay.
Okay.
It could
Both
be,
sides. I see that. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Indeed. Let them even have a shot at that.
And I like the
her-
Google. I like the Google expert.
Yeah. Do you guys know
Yeah.
the name of the Google expert off the top of your head? Do you guys know it? Or maybe I'll get to it.
Yeah. Hold on a sec.
There's a couple other good ones here coming up too. This is great. Hernandez is the old Brian Albert's partner for Boston PD that he punched in the face. I think that's distractor, but I
Yes.
don't know
I
if
think
there's
it's
an
a
angle.
distractor, unless they're going to actually prove a murder.
I think they can get more data in with other experts. Like
Okay.
I'd have to take their time and remember we talked about time management and how much time you want to put. I'd put more time on and take him out. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
can do
Another
more.
great one that they didn't call last year is Kelleher from across the street.
Yep.
But
What happened to
there's
your
so many
cameras?
fucking people. I'm only on K's. There's so many
Think
fucking
about
people.
it, guys. Think about it. Never mind Brian Albert not going out of the house.
Kelleher.
Tell her.
And he knew he called
Yeah,
up to
he fucking
not my front
used-
lawn. Hey, not my front lawn.
Huh?
He called up dispatch and said, "Hey, you got the address wrong. It's not my house. It's across the street."
He called Deaver. Deaver sent them out to 32, not 34.
Right.
Kelleher calls back because he heard it on the radio that it was 32. You got the wrong house. Change it. That's why Deaver is kind of a big role with why she's yanked out of there and why Goody took over. You see the doc
He
there?
has video. He's got video of the whole thing.
Had.
Hey, Jen,
Bad.
I appreciate what Karen said about the number of weeks for defense witnesses. Again, I have to remind everyone that's listening, it would be great if it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But Brennan is not going to help make that possible.
No. That's his
All
only
right.
job
We got
right now.
we got the cholestasis we already know about. Jeffrey Kostowski is a trooper.
I think that it would be good to call Nicole and her husband.
Oh, the lawyer. Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why, because when you think about what was going on inside the waterfall,
the motive. Okay.
right? So Nicole and her husband, they
Had to be front row to it. You're right. Yeah.
Why can't you love me like that? Why can't you talk to me like that? Right.
Yes.
Right.
They were very happy. They were having a good time, and
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
You're right.
yeah.
You
call them.
Go ahead.
Huh?
All right. Lapalito brothers. I don't think you need to call.
No.
Lucky's already there.
Yeah.
Lucky Law Firm. We got to get him up there. Paul Makakowski. That might be one of the Google guys. I don't know. Allie McCabe.
Definitely.
Yep.
All right. Tristan Morris.
For comedic value, maybe.
Yeah.
You know.
I gotta find the. Hold on a sec.
It's all right. If you can't find it, it's all right.
I gotta find the Google witness. Hold on a sec.
Let's see. Expert witnesses. Daniel Wolf, Garrett Wing.
You have the
Mike-
whole list in front of you.
I do. Mary Russell.
Does it have the employer next to it?
It does not. No.
It's-
No. Oh, some of them have MSP, but other than the color coded. So like blue is
Russell-
expert.
Russell is yes. She's dynamite.
Is
Okay.
that the Google expert?
Dog bite. She's the dog bite expert.
Oh,
She's
yeah, I
the
know.
doctor. Who's the doctor?
Maria,
Who's the doctor?
Marie Russell. That's
Hey,
right,
listen,
Tom.
not for nothing, guys, and I get what you're saying about the dog bite expert. The irony is, and
If you prove the dog bite, it puts
How
it
to
else.
bring the dog in.
it corroborates the lack of an accident, but it's kind of sideshowish. I'll just put it that way.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It
Give me
is.
It could be a distractor.
It's like, okay, you know.
Matthew Kelch, the one that wiped Brian Higgins' phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, guy.
Yes,
Whoa.
you call him.
Whoa.
You definitely call him.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Because guess what, guys? Not for nothing. If that really happened, which current to Higgins in top one happened.
You're right.
You know what that is, right?
Conspiracy.
It's accessory after the fact.
Okay, that's where I was going.
And by
with
the
that.
way, guys, Tom,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm going to say, don't you?
I got an idea.
Intentional or
Listen, guys.
It's one or the other.
Any of these fuckheads that tells you that the feds aren't watching,
oh fuck. Yeah.
I don't know how they get
accessory
that.
after the fact, after the commission of a murder crime.
Oh.
Of a witness, because she was a witness.
Listen,
I know.
guess what happens?
I know.
Why?
Clink.
That
Yeah,
means it becomes a
Federal
federal.
case. Yep.
That's right. Because the jurisdiction transfers after a crime is committed on federal.
And what's the
property.
statute of limitations? Do we know? Federal wise?
It's-
On a murder?
Yeah.
Murder stays murder.
20 years?
No.
Never
Yeah, there
never
is.
goes
There
away.
is.
No expire? Okay.
Yeah, there's no
Murder
there's no
stays murder.
statute of limitations on a felony murder.
Okay.
But yeah, dude. Hey, listen. So yeah, accessory after the fact
Yep.
on federal property means the jurisdiction now has probable cause to initiate a criminal case
Yes.
in a federal jurisdiction.
Yes. So my question is, does Kelch say, fuck you, Higgy, I ain't going down for this, and start fucking signing a proffer? My
Yeah.
opinion. My opinion.
Yes.
Okay.
He's got nothing to all to lose, Mike. He's got
Yeah.
all to lose.
Yes.
Okay. That could be
Oh, and if you're thinking about the money issue, God help them if there was any wire transactions as a part of this.
Oh,
oh fuck.
you
all
mean
right.
like from Sarah Nagel to the judge?
I'm talking about any kind of transfer of value electronically. That is bad news for
Everybody.
everybody.
Because now that's a whole charge in itself, isn't it?
That's right. And that's also a federal crime.
And that's easy to prove. That's all data. That's all
Yes,
data
it
driven
is.
too. It's right there.
Yes,
Line
it
3,
is.
whatever. Yep. Thank you, sir.
And by the way, Nan made a very good point yesterday. So Farwell was still being paid after he committed this crime as a part of all right.
Nan's brilliant. Nan is brilliant.
And how were people paid? By check
Every
Oh, yeah.
week. This
or
is
by
awesome.
EFT or by EFT?
Who knows?
Well, if it's direct
Right.
deposit, there's the EFT, my friend.
Well,
Everybody's got direct
exactly.
deposit.
that's a wire, correct?
Yes, it is.
Well, God bless America.
How about a promotion? Would you say was that adds on to it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
awesome.
that's negligence on the police department, Tommy.
Okay, let's keep going with this one. There's a couple citizens on here I won't get into, but Allie McCabe for sure.
Can someone find out who the Google expert is, please?
Anybody in the chat know?
Derek Ellington. Sherry had that. Thank you,
Okay.
Sherry.
Yeah,
Dynamite.
so that guy's going to be
Ellington.
huge for the witnesses inside that house. You're welcome.
Mhm.
Thanks,
Um,
guys.
And yeah, that guy's huge because the geofencing data inside that house, it's gold,
FBI has that.
dude. It's gold, Jerry.
Doctors,
It's gold.
yeah.
It's
Yep.
gold. Gold.
Yeah. That puts
Everybody where they're supposed to be.
Colin up. Yeah. Colin
Hey,
in the house.
and you know what else? There's no
Colin
fucking
keeps it
time
moving.
shift either. It's straight up.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why the Google expert's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tristan, and then Michael Morris is on the list, but I don't think he'll ever be called. Steve Nelson is the witness advocate.
I don't think they'll be called,
No.
but I would love to see. I would love to see
Steve
Morrissey.
Nelson about throwing.
I would listen. I would love. You know what my ideal dream is on this case?
Fat boy.
I want Marcy on the stand. I'm going to tell you
Oh,
why. Now that the aperture door is opened regarding these financial misdealings,
Right.
knowing that every penny has to be reported through the comptroller and verified by an auditor, which is the office of the auditor for the Commonwealth. Now that that's out the door, that they've been paid.
Barry, they
And they're-
bought a fucking Lexus.
Oh, I'm aware of that. But
Holy
they have received financial value that has not been reported to another party, which in this case is the Office of the Comptroller, which has supervision with the state auditor. The fact that there isn't a single financial report that demonstrates payments.
Oof. Oof.
Yeah.
Whole nother
Oof.
charge.
It's a real evidentiary problem for Aperture. And it's a real problem for Morrissey because, frankly, it's his district attorney's office.
It's his money.
Yes.
He's responsible
It's
for it. You're
his
right.
money. It's
Yep.
his budget. The
Right.
fact that a contract's been signed by Aperture, that Aperture's been paid, and those payments have not been reported and recorded shows you what? First of all,
Corruption.
it tells you that the evidence is not reliable because there is no arm's length transaction showing those payments, number one. Number two, it also shows a lack of disclosure to another state government body, which
That's-
tells you that, frankly, you're not being transparent, you're not being truthful, and if you can't do that, then how can you even put on a criminal case where you're utilizing an expert witness to try and convict Karen Reed?
Okay. That makes sense.
That is
Yep.
constitutional and evidentiary material issues all day, every day, until it's resolved.
And it's factual.
And of
It's-
course it's
That's
factual.
right.
It's tangible.
I've
It's
been
tangible.
checking that CTHRU system
Yeah.
to see if those payments
Right.
are being recorded.
Yeah.
And as soon as he testified that they had been paid, that tells me that they're not being transparent in their payments.
Gotcha.
That's
I-
a
For
problem.
sake of argument, could Aperture have an sub LLC?
I checked all affiliates, independent
Oh, okay.
contractors,
I'm sure you. I'm
employees.
sure you
That's it.
did.
There you go.
The people that have the LLCs for Aperture in this Commonwealth,
Yeah.
Aiden is going to do a bang up story whenever he wants to do it.
Oh,
Good.
okay.
And I'm telling you right now, this is the beginning of something and not the end.
I love it. I fucking
Yes,
love
the
it.
FBI is still involved, people.
All right, so we got to Ally McKee, Christopher Michael Wilson. Steve Nelson is the witness advocate. We're not
Yeah.
sure. Then John O'Keefe Sr. He's on the defense witness list. I don't
Hey,
think they'll call him.
Mike. As you know the O'Keefe family, okay?
I do.
Okay. So, I would love to see Mr. O'Keefe on the stand.
Yeah, I would too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we all know that
he
Mr.
thinks.
O'Keefe
Yeah. He
loves
Karen.
Karen still, and
does.
probably to this day. Okay.
Mhm.
And I know what I have been told on how Mr. O'Keefe has been doing. Okay. And if there's one criticism I have, if I have one criticism that I have when it comes to the O'Keefe family, is you do not treat your family like they should not be a part of the court proceedings. Okay?
So he's told not to go. You think, or is that his choice not to be there?
Well, maybe
I
they don't want anybody
know
to
what I
support Karen. That's what I
Yeah.
think
hey,
it is.
listen, I know what I was told.
Okay, all right. I'll
Yeah.
leave it at that.
When I don't see him in court, and
Which has been a
granted,
while.
I also know that he has a business. So
Yep.
I just know what I was told. I hope that if Counselor Yannetti decides to call him as a witness, I hope he shows up.
That's game over, in my opinion.
Yes.
It's game over, in my opinion, for the jurors. If you get
This-
Mr. O'Keefe up there,
Yeah.
that's huge.
I want
I know.
every time I see Mr. O'Keefe in the courtroom.
I know.
I
I know.
yeah, I'm listening, but you have to respect the man.
Oh my God, dude. Yeah.
As I've been told one too many times from Braintree, correct?
Yes, he is.
Okay. He is an original OG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stand-up guy.
The man
He's an awesome guy.
is respected.
He is. There was
He-
a love between Karen and him. Yeah.
Yeah.
He
loves
loved Karen.
Unless
He
you
loved what
unless you have twisted him wrong, he
Yeah.
loves everybody.
Right.
All right. Unless you twisted him wrong, which
And even then it's hard to do. It's
Yeah.
hard, it's even hard to get him worked up.
So
He's a 75-year-old man.
I love the fact that Yannetti is the guy here, especially on
Yeah.
this side of the trial.
Yeah, he
So
can
you
take,
know
yeah.
what? I would love that John Sr. or John the Third, right? That John's dad took the stand.
He's fucking huge.
Dude,
Huge.
what is Brennan gonna do to him? Huh? What are you gonna do, Hank?
Nothing.
What are you gonna
He
do?
can't.
if
He
John
can't do
the
anything
Third-
to that guy. He's
Yeah.
too strong for him.
Man,
He'll look like a fucking dick. He'll
there
look
are
like
there are a lot of people in that county that are friends of John's
Oh
dad
yeah. Oh yeah.
that would want to hear from his dad.
Imagine that.
I
Yep.
mean,
Imagine.
dude,
Yeah.
that would be one of the top 5 moments of this trial.
You just read my mind. I was thinking, how big would that testimony be? Now, he doesn't have to say anything about hearsay. He can just talk about the relationship of him and Karen, and that's it.
Yes.
Whether you think someone else did it or whether, but you, so did you guys go to church together? Did you like what you did for the children? And take that power away from that closed session with the kids or the kid calling her the defendant, which I can't fucking believe.
Yeah, that's just the bizarre.
Right.
You
Who does
And
that?
I'll give you another example on things that can be testified to by Mr. O'Keefe. Is any type of phone calls and text messages that they had shared.
Yep.
oh, fuck yeah.
Hey, look at this. Hey,
And
look at
how
this.
the-
picture.
and
Look at that.
frankly, how going back to the waterfall testimony,
Right.
right? On how they were getting along that night.
Yeah.
You can connect that with Mr. O'Keefe and how their relationship was prior to that night.
His name was brought into the text messages. John saying, "Papa will come down and fix your water heater tomorrow or
Yeah.
Monday."
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's actually brought into the texts already.
Right.
So
And you
Right.
can just further connect. I'm just saying there's plenty of context here regarding how Karen and John got along.
Right.
And that's how you could bring Mr. O'Keefe in.
and I'm not saying that Karen and John were going to continue on down this happy road of life and into
Right.
the sunset. It could have been
Right.
ending off. We don't know that, but the
That's right.
relationship was the relationship, right?
Yeah.
There was no like she didn't have a relationship with Peggy. She
Yeah.
bailed Paul out. She had a relationship with Erin, Paul's ex-wife or wife, but
Right.
she really didn't deal with Paul because Paul was doing Paul, right?
Right. Yes.
Peg said on the stand, I had this Paul, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
All right, so John Senior.
And in terms of, do we know what Mr. O'Keefe would say? The defense team would, because
Oh yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
haven't talked to
on
him.
their witness list, they would have a conversation with the man.
And if he said, "I don't want to do it," they would not
Right.
pressure.
And
Right.
They
again,
would,
Yep. If they didn't have to.
yeah.
he might have he might be said, "You know what? I've had enough of my wife. I've had enough of Paul. I want these kids to move on with their lives. I want to put an end to
Right.
this.
Yep.
And I'm the father. I am the head of this family as the grandpa, papa.
Yep.
I'll fucking end it under my terms and on that stand. I can do
And you
this."
know what, Mike? Let me tell you something, brother. That would be a good way.
To win it back,
Yeah.
win back your family, win like.
Yeah,
Fuck
he
you.
wins everything. Yes.
Fuck
He doesn't
you.
like seeing what's going on with Paul and Aaron.
Oh, he's
No.
no.
God
No.
damn.
No.
They're getting dragged through the mud. They're getting
Yeah.
filmed everywhere they
I
go.
don't like seeing it. I
I
don't.
don't either.
I don't like seeing it.
Yeah, neither do
Paul
I.
is
But at the
not
same
supposed to
time, it's like they do this on purpose. They want to do this. It seems like they are dead set on suing the bars, suing Karen. Like they are out for her blood,
Well,
and he's not like that. That's why it's
no.
just confuses me. He's
Yeah.
just how's that dynamic when you get home? How's that work out? What's that?
Yeah.
We talk about a dinner. That's
Yeah.
got to be some stressful stuff, guys.
It's
Interesting, huh? That's a good.
he's
One.
not running. He is the man of that family. He is the man.
It's
And
not Peg. It should be
he's
Peg.
not making the calls right now.
No. He's
He's not.
sitting back. Now Peg's living in Canton. John Senior's over Braintree.
You know what's going on.
Okay, I'm just letting you know.
Oh, I know.
There's
Yeah,
no.
dude,
Yeah.
it's
Yep. And
Yeah.
Peg's cousins and Peg's sisters are all teaming up on him.
Yeah,
Keep it
the
quiet,
pressure
John.
must be
Shut up.
immense. Barry, that
Right?
family pressure. Think of the family pressure that guy
Oh, it's
gets.
dude.
Oh my
Tommy,
word!
let me tell you something,
Oh,
dude. It's fucked up.
It is.
It's fucked
that
up.
poor guy, man.
Yeah,
That poor
dynamic.
guy's getting hard.
And if
getting
anybody in
crazy.
this chat's hearing what we're saying, we know what's going on with Mr. O'Keefe, dude.
Yeah.
I'm letting you know right now. We know.
He's torn.
It needs to
And he's been
stop.
through this. He's been through this before. That's the sad part
It's
too. You
fucked
know.
He doesn't want to do it again.
knows.
He does
That's
not
right.
want to do it again.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. If my dad was ever treated like that,
Oh,
Different story. Yep.
it's gonna stop.
yeah. That's why
Agreed.
we get Paul. We get Paul. Go, Paul. You have an opportunity to end this today by making a phone call and going to listen to somebody.
Mhm.
I'm shocked. I got to tell you, I'm shocked that Paul hasn't done it yet.
Right.
I'm shocked.
Right. If you want to sue somebody, who has a bigger checkbook, the state or the Reeds? What the fuck?
Yeah.
Dude. Why? So Tully was the defensive line for him. That's where your loyalty lies, not with your family and your niece and nephew, right? That's where I'm getting all fucked up with this. But not Mr. O'Keefe Sr. He sees the big picture. He understands what's going on.
So
Peg, for some reason, is blinded by all this.
no. Can I add something to that, Mike?
Yeah.
I think somebody, and I'm not going to say any names, but I think you can figure it out. When the kids' parents passed away, the kids got money every month.
Yeah.
Right? I think that check was getting cashed. Okay. Here comes Karen. And what's Karen do? She says, oh, no. We're going to set up a trust fund for these kids. So this money goes directly into these funds that makes them money. So Karen took away the ability to touch the dollar bills because it was automatically.
Well,
right?
It's going to John first, right? Yeah.
Oh, no. She set up automatic deposit.
I understand all that. But before Karen came along.
John was in charge. Yes, absolutely.
Before Karen came along.
Yep. John now passes.
They're in charge of the fund.
Back to the funds. And I hate to say it, but it's money does crazy stuff to people.
And we know where it comes from certain sources.
Yeah, how's the police department pay to fix someone's fence for no reason whatsoever when the tow truck hit it?
All right, a couple more here. We got.
Yeah. We're good. We can
all right.
Petty cash.
Let's go to midnight. You guys want to do a marathon for Karen?
We can talk about this all fucking
We can do that another day.
I did a 24-hour standout. I'm still getting shit over it.
Yeah,
I went to his grave. I get shit over that.
Move forward, Tommy, baby. Let's go, brother.
Let's go. What do you got, Mike?
Courtney Proctor.
Courtney.
Oh, yeah.
Call her.
Yeah, because if you look at that, so again, we all know
How many times? Yeah.
Dude, Nan is Nan's a beast, bro.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So when Nan says that certification of completeness when it comes
Oh,
to
she's
media
beautiful.
interviews,
Yes.
Yeah.
not only is the defense going to be able to put into context all these clips for Karen, but I got one. And it's Courtney Proctor, correct? Courtney Proctor says, "Yeah,
Oh, on ABC, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Good
yeah." It
Morning
was a
America.
hell of a. I can't remember what it was, but it
I know.
was. It
Yeah,
was. Yeah, it was pretty much a frame job. Yeah, I mean that's what she said.
it
Yeah.
is.
So guess what? God bless you, Courtney. Fucking ain't right. It was
And,
a frame job.
and then Elizabeth, his sister, right?
Mm,
She's a school teacher that retired. Remember? Okay.
All I know is that Courtney admitted that it was a frame job
Yeah.
in a
And
TV
then
interview.
Andrew
Yeah,
Rechler.
that would be pretty fucking sweet on having that admitted as yeah, that's an admission that this police investigation was cooked to the books.
I agree.
Yeah,
Rechler is Acker. Now,
yeah,
Stephen Ridge worked with Brian Albert on the task force at Boston PD.
yeah.
I don't know if he'll be called. I don't
It
know
all
what
depends if
significance.
they're going to try and solve a murder. I mean, that's all that is.
Right.
Yeah,
Or put together the culprit as Brian being an aggressive person. That whole thing could come into play. Which you have to be on a task force like that. You can't be a fucking
yeah.
pussy if you're
yeah.
kicking down doors, right? You gotta
Right.
you gotta do your thing.
There's other ways of if they're trying to
Bringing
figure out
that
what
in.
happened to John, there's other ways of doing it than that.
Right. Okay.
Forensics. It's all about forensics when it comes to something like this.
Garrett Wing is the dog bite guy,
Yeah,
right?
I like him. He's solid.
Yep.
All right. There's a couple other people here. Mary Souza, not sure. Chris Van E. and Michael Wagner and Cheryl Vaughn.
Yeah, Chris Van E's an
Vaughn.
engineer.
Okay. Is he the Google guy? Oh no, we figured that out. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, on the same list, both witness lists, we've kind of already gone through it, but Lank, you can bring up some other people: Jennifer Matthew McCabe, Ryan Nagel, Andre Porto is a MSP crime lab. Helena Rafferty, I think you call back up. Scotty Bello,
The crime lab guys, as far as I'm concerned, are done.
Adon,
Yeah.
okay,
I'll tell you
Tully.
why. And I'll tell you
Too
why.
much.
They have not provided any forensic proof whatsoever in any way, shape, or form that the broken taillight pieces and the taillight housing had any blood DNA or skin cell biological matter DNA. They're done. You do not call those guys. They're done.
Okay, the one I want to see is did you call Colleen Crawford?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Here's the one I really want to see: Turtle Boy. He's on the prosecution list.
Yeah.
He's on the prosecution list.
He
He brings
could,
the FBI. He brings the FBI right into it. By the way, he opens up the fucking Dewey.
but
Oh
Mike,
God!
he brings, just like Barry, he brings a completely different perspective on the case where that he can relate maybe better to the jury than some of these experts can. I think he is, if you're going to call someone to help Karen, there's no better person because he's seen the whole entire state police from a long time ago when he busted him for the overtime scandal. This goes on with Aiden way back. He's been on the state police and a lot.
All right.
So they got him in his sights.
Bill Reed.
Yes.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Nathan Reed. Oof.
Yeah.
Right.
Nope. Dude. Yeah.
They can handle. See, I think when you
call
say those
them.
things,
Call them.
I immediately think them against Hank, not what they're gonna say. How's Hank and how they're gonna? That's my first thought. Isn't that horrible?
Look at Brennan's demeanor
Yeah.
when he questions, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if he does that to a sympathetic witness like Mr. Reed.
I don't want to think about it. I don't even want to think about it.
Well, think about it,
have to.
Tommy. Imagine if he acted like that. Not that he's already not lost this jury, but imagine if he acted like that.
Now, Bill Reed, as the leader of that family,
Yes.
he wants a piece of this ass right
Yes.
now.
Yep.
He wants up there.
He was in the Dighton house when the vehicle was picked up. He can testify to what happened inside that house when they decided
Picked
to
Karen
seize.
up at One Meadows.
Didn't he
went to
drive
One
in the
Meadows.
vehicle? He was in the car.
Yeah.
Again,
He says in a press release that he swiped the back bumper off with his gloves when he picked Karen up at One Meadows.
Cleaned it off. Yep.
Yeah.
He cleaned up
there you
the
have,
back.
there you have it.
So
He's got plenty to testify to.
you bring him in, and Nathan too, because he was at One Meadows
Yeah.
when he picked up Karen.
They were eyewitnesses on the conduct of Bukaki and Proctor when they showed up.
That's right, twice.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And that's sad. The
Wow.
first thought is, how is Hank going to treat them? That's my first thought. Not what they're going to say, not how they're going to help her, Karen. It's how's Hank going to treat him.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
horrible.
I would totally.
I love Bill.
You
love
call
Bill Reed.
Mr. O'Keefe. You call Mr. O'Keefe. And you
Oh.
call Bill and Nathan. Absolutely.
John O'Keefe Sr., Bill Reed, and Nathan right in a row.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Stack them right up, man.
Stack them right up.
Yep.
Stack them right up.
Holy Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. That would be good.
Yeah.
Saraf was not called by the prosecution, was the first officer on scene.
It all
Steve
depends.
Stanley-
It all depends
Good.
if you want to get the sneaker.
That shit. Yeah. All right. I got you.
Sneaker. Why
In
didn't
the
it-
statement, they said Karen was saying that she running around saying, I hit him. She didn't say that.
Not-
Remember?
Yeah,
Well, that
and
one
that
cop-
too, Tommy. He testified in trial 1. That never
Should've said.
happened. So
Right.
you can rebut on that too. You bring Surratt.
Saraf. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. And
You
then
know,
Karen
When
Karen
you
lies
read
to the grand
criticism
Karen
of
lies
some
to
of
the grand
these
jury.
witnesses, I'm like, God damn, you're not seeing the hidden value in these guys, GG.
Yeah.
Right?
Surratt was a
Right.
good witness.
For the defense.
Yes.
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 Yes. There's a couple of good ones.
Between the admission of these statements that McLaughlin made and the sneaker on the curb,
Was never there at that
No.
time.
they would have seen it.
They're walking all over it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
They
you can
put-
also get Surratt to testify to whatever it is that they did when it comes to a motor vehicle report. I know there isn't one with the Commonwealth, and if they did one with the town, what the hell happened?
Right.
That-
Like you
I'm
asked him, did you do a motor vehicle accident report?
I don't know if they did. Remember? I don't think they did.
Well, I can
They
tell you
were-
right
it was-
now, it's not in evidence.
Right.
No,
I
they
don't
didn't
think
do
they
the
did
report.
that.
So
was
how do
called
you
in as a-
have
Wow.
any of these 3 charges stick without an MVR?
Right.
Again,
Right.
my industry, guys, we deal in motor vehicle reports and police accident reports. If there is no accident report, then you can't have any charges. It's part of your probable cause reliability to even have these charges. You have
Exactly.
to have it.
Right.
I haven't
I
seen
agree.
it. It hasn't been entered.
No.
It hasn't
no.
been entered. It's just,
Okay. Kurt Roberts, who was at the bar with, that's Kerry Roberts' husband.
No.
So Raffley, Steve Scanlon, the
no,
private eye.
unreliable.
He wouldn't sign the
one of-
affidavit. I'm not.
Reliable.
Well, yeah, that's right. He wouldn't sign an affidavit. You're right. You're right.
Unreliable.
Stonebridge, we talked about with the tats.
Yep.
Sullivan twin, the girls from Aruba, we don't need to talk to. Michael Trotta, the DPW guy that had Lucky out there, and okay.
I
Right.
would tell Trotter for a number of reasons. First of all, you got to provide the veracity of what Lucky reported after his shift, and then
Okay.
you can
Basketball
definitely get and going back to Tom's point, you can definitely ask him, why on God's green earth are you providing overlap on plowing of roads in that area with an LLC connected to Matthew McCabe? You can do that too, just for shits and giggles, Tom.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It can't.
No, it
You
doesn't.
can't do that.
Gretchen Voss.
Fuck her.
Nope.
All right. Gretchen,
Brian-
I hope you had fun because we're not going to forget what you did last year.
Nope.
Yeah.
Never.
Brian Wallace. Ooh.
Yes. Absolutely.
CBD.
Why is he there the next day?
I don't know. Was it that Jen said the auto body guy was there? But he's the one that allegedly fixed or took out the taillight at the Canton PD on Karen's car.
Andy fixed John's car.
Yeah. So Wanless, you could call Welcher. I mean, they've already been called. The German Natalie,
No.
Okay. And Gregory
Actually,
Woodbury.
you know what? I got something funny here. You know what I would do?
What?
Yeah, I would put her on notice that she's scheduled to testify and make sure she flew out here.
Oh, you're son of
Just
a
to
bitch.
keep her out here.
Yeah,
on her
yeah.
dime.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah. Karen's friend.
Yeah, just
but
we would have her as a corroborating witness for Tully
Yep.
in case she's needed.
And you can bring Turtle Boy in that way.
Yeah, that's right.
There you go.
You could bring
Yeah,
Turtle
you
Boy
could.
in that way.
Yeah, you definitely call her out here. Corroborate Tully's trip to California.
Right?
And if that
Holy
subject,
fuck.
and if that subject doesn't come up,
Organically.
yeah, we bring her out here.
Barry,
Right?
you
Bring her out here, and that way, Aiden can do his journalism.
That's fucking
And maybe we see a Natalie story.
So I think
That
the
would
whole
be pretty cool.
call Proctor. It's not, when Yannetti said the other day, it's not her decision, it's their attorneys. I think they're just pushing it down, saying maybe not. But I think they're gonna do it. That's how I feel. You use every bullet in your fucking belt. I don't care if it goes to July 1st. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
You know what? In terms of now that I've seen what I've had to see from Canoni over the last couple of weeks,
Oh,
I would love it if her trial went through the 4th.
she'd be fucking.
God.
Yes.
Fuck her.
I'm more worried about her calling a mistrial.
How
Just
can you not be?
Oh my god.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
So going to that point, Tommy, this is why you wait on Proctor. You wait on Proctor.
To
You
the
you get Higgins and Kelch on the stand.
Oh, Jesus.
Early. That way, yeah, you have a fallback legally,
Yeah.
so that if Canoni does anything,
Now,
you have a federal jurisdiction opportunity in the making.
Yes. So you bring Higgins in. He goes through his Texas that Buchanan already read. So he's already in. Now, why are some missing from the original data, and as opposed to this data, that some taken out? Because John died wasn't in last year's testimony. That last text when Higgins was reading the text is about, hey, do you want me?
I know.
The last text from Karen to Brian Higgins was, hey, John's dead.
Yeah.
That was
Yep.
it.
And she never heard from him again.
Right. So
not even a how. Nothing.
But Grant keeps on talking about mens rea. The mens rea just in that text exchange was not only the last one when he never texted her back, and was the first set of text messages between Karen and John that demonstrates how they were doing that day. If you look at the first set of text messages, they were getting along, they were fine, normal relationship stuff.
Yeah.
It was good. It was healthy.
Yeah, all the comments about the voicemails, every girl or woman in here was like,
God, yes.
I've done worse.
Yep.
I've said worse. I've done worse.
And he gave her that ammunition. So those phone calls, there was substance between them.
Yeah.
Whatever she was trying to point, she was trying to get across.
They were fighting over a water heater.
Yeah,
that's
whatever.
Normal, normal stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then he was like, she's like, I'm gonna call my plumber friend. John was like, no, I'll have Papa do it. And why don't waste your money kind of thing.
Yep.
So
she still went to the bar, Mike. She still went and met him after that.
Yeah.
That's love. That's a connection. That's not someone that hates him. Dude. No.
So I remember that storm. That storm, man,
motherfucker.
My God. Yeah, when I saw that storm rolling in, I was like, I am so glad I'm not up there. I'm not so glad.
All right, dude. Yeah,
So,
it was
yeah.
bad.
It was like, damn, dude, that storm was bad.
It sucked. Sucked.
All right, we're out. Mike, we done with that list, bud?
We are finished with that list. Yeah, I mean, again, we didn't talk about the 4 people that are on the text string. I think that's a way to get some more upper MSP. Like you can get DeChico, who called Scony Fellow. You got that guy Connors on there, but you have
And you also call
supervisors.
Lopezada from Rhode
Well,
Island.
Yep.
Yep.
She's
Oh,
gonna
yes.
test.
That's-
So
I'm
the
sorry, the
other
Brown
Very
University medical examiner who says John was fucking moved
After the fact.
post-mortem.
Yes,
In
sir.
the opening statement, you listen to Alan
Okay.
Jackson. He says, "We will prove to you that John was moved."
That's good. Well, that's because of the internal organ issues regarding frostbite and hypothermia.
Yep.
And the other thing, medically, is John's head wound.
Yeah.
He had microfractures right near the posterior head wound that he suffered. Microfractures on this part of your head, right? If you have microfractures around the primary wound,
Yeah.
that's not from falling on the ground. It's a direct impact into the area that would cause those microfractures around that.
Like a
Yep.
Right.
spread.
Yes,
Right.
Which is
like a
where
window. If you break a window, it's spider webs.
That's
Gotcha.
Because of stress.
exactly, Tommy,
It does
exactly.
least resistance, and there's your line.
That's right. So Stonebridge is going to be the one that should testify to that, but I am almost certain that La Posada could probably testify that too.
The medical from Brown University.
Yeah.
Rhode Island, the Rhode
Yeah.
Island medical, the whole state
Yes.
of Rhode Island. Yes.
Yes, she'll be
She's
able to
all right.
testify that too.
Jesus Christ, man. We are loaded.
Yeah,
Loaded.
dude.
Like,
This
fucking
witness
loaded.
list that the defense has, they have so many angles that
What the
I
fuck?
hope.
that's why I'm telling you, like 2 weeks,
Not enough.
it's
No.
not enough.
No
No.
way.
No.
So I don't know if they're playing chess and checkers right now with the prosecution.
I don't
putting it
either.
out there, you know.
Right.
Because last year, hey, we're calling 6 witnesses and we're done. That's how confident they were, right?
Right.
I think
That's right.
Parker's up there for 2 days, easy 2 days with cross and bullshit, right? Lividity, thank you,
Yeah,
Auntie
lividity,
Bones.
yeah.
Yeah,
Which is body temperature related, obviously.
right.
Yep.
Yeah, they have fingerprints under his eye. It's fucking crazy, but I won't get into
Yeah.
it. But
I mean, again, the defense could probably get through half their witness list. But again, in say 2.5, I thought 3 weeks was going to be reasonable.
Not with Hank.
But again, Hank, the way he ran his cross on Friday, he's
fucked.
just not a good attorney.
He's fucked.
He's not.
No, he sucks.
I said at the beginning of this, just watch how he is on the technical experts.
Yeah.
He's not a good litigator when it comes to technical expertise.
No.
And guess what? It's showing.
Yeah, it is.
It's bad.
It is. And his bench, Lally, McLaughlin suck. You
Yeah.
know, I don't know what they're even helping him with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the people that are helping him out, I don't know. But I really do like how this trial is going right now that we're into the defense stuff. And
Yeah.
if people are just talking about why we need to call Proctor, of course we need to call them. But you got a lot of other people going to put this to bed.
You got to bootstrap him to a witness that's going to limit his testimony on cross with Brennan. That's
Listen,
how you do this.
By him
Okay.
not being there, it allows the defense to say, "Look, he's not even here. They can't even produce him. They're not even gonna. The guy in charge, he's gone." So that may work out in our favor.
I agree with that.
You know?
Again, it's just for me, it's not going to be the defense's fault if it takes them. It's about Brennan and how he does his job.
Tries to spin
Right.
it the way.
It's like, he's almost like Higgins in terms of he has no fucking game whatsoever, bro.
Yeah. No.
He doesn't, dude. Come on.
I don't see a wedding ring on the guy, so you might be right. You might be right.
He's
He might be a
he's
cock.
got no game.
He's a cock.
He's a cock.
Here we go.
I'm sorry, dude.
I'm serious too.
Yeah, no,
I'm-
you did.
I'm
Listen,
with ya.
he's
I'm
on that.
just
He's
letting
on that spectrum. Yes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Jojo.
Yeah.
2 hours and 3 goddamn seconds, dude.
I
And
know.
again,
In the 3 seconds, Barry, was after he
Alessi-
clearly happened.
under the Kuma. Look, I have talked about Kuma. I have not talked about the Kuma precedent enough, so I'm going to say this, and it needs to be heard. Reliability of evidence under the Kuma precedent is attached to Dobert Lanigan. Okay?
Yeah.
The judge did not allow voir dire on these witnesses, which means it's abuse of discretion from the judge.
Right.
Okay. Alessi, if he achieved anything in this trial, is he got Burgess to say down to the second on all the time points of his work,
That's right.
knowing there are variances on just about every data point that was
Right.
presented as a part of his testimony and also Wechsler's. So suffice it to say, that is a real deal because that's all evidence.
Yep.
And when you have inconsistent testimony, like none of these data points are lined up down to the second because of the variances, and knowing the financial dealings, and knowing that there was rebuttal yesterday on methodology,
Oh gosh.
it's
Junk.
I mean,
That's
to me,
science.
to me, the case is over. I know we got to keep on doing this,
Yeah.
but the
Right.
reasonable doubt is already in place, so that if the defense wants to close this fucker up, so that Mr. Reed can go play golf,
Right.
all for it.
Yeah, they could. They
Yep.
could do it.
But
Yep.
if they want to do something
Put that foot on the
That-
neck.
proves without a shadow of a doubt,
Yeah.
I
I
do
think
a
that's what-
month. I
that's
do a
what-
month.
Yep.
Starting on Monday, by the way. Because I
Now-
wouldn't even count Friday anymore.
Barry, do you remember if Auntie Bev declined a voir dire on Shannon and
Yes.
Welcher? She
Yes.
did, right? So I wasn't. She did. So she said, "No, they're experts."
She
They're gonna
declined
let-
voir dire on the Sallyport video.
That's right.
Yeah.
So when she declined the voir dire for, let's just use Shannon Burgess, because his CV in my mind, I think they knew that his CV was bullshit, but they went through the process of asking for a voir dire, right? Because they
And
knew
look at what
this guy
happened.
was,
Yep.
and it blew up in their fucking face, Tom.
Yep.
Blew up.
Sure did.
That's right.
And then to have
They got what they
they-
got. Look,
right,
they
shit in, shit out.
fuckhead wanted to object to the voir dire.
Right.
Yep.
Just a fucking object.
White Claw
Right.
approved no voir dire.
Right.
Yeah.
And guess what?
Blew up.
You
Boom.
get what you ask for.
Right.
Sometimes a little more.
And
That
not-
caught me.
not- since there's also no element of surprise as a part of this trial, guess
Yeah.
what? Brennan Lally McLaughlin and the God knows how many else that are on staff at the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, they knew about his issues.
Right.
So
Oh, did they?
guess what?
They had to have.
This is on them. No one else.
Because-
And that's why
because Lin-
Kumo is so big.
His LinkedIn profile link was taken down 3 days prior to his testimony for Burgess.
Wow.
And did Alessi eat him up? Fucking chewed him up.
I know.
I couldn't believe. I was like, this guy's on the stand?
Yeah.
And then Welcher uses Burgess's report to do his.
Mike,
Yes.
Mike, think about this, right? The representatives of Aperture in Massachusetts.
Oh, fuck.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
The retired state police officers.
That's right. He headed up the cars unit.
Yep. Small world, isn't
Why
it?
would Aperture
Small
have
world.
those guys do the work?
I don't.
How
Why?
many times? How many times have they put this
think
by
about
us?
it.
We don't even
I know.
question
The
it.
former guy that headed up the cars section
Yep.
Yep.
was with Aperture
Right. In Massachusetts.
Commonwealth,
Yep.
and instead
Didn't
they
call
got Burgess,
from Long Beach.
Wow.
Texas. Either or.
Yeah.
Why? Why would Aperture do anything like that?
Because they said, hey, fuckhead, you got to save this company. And he fucking bedazzles them with bullshit in 3 days.
With
Right?
a lot of
He's-
with a lot of
know,
nonsense.
He tried to save his
The
company.
man's a multi-millionaire already. He didn't need
Don't
any
need it.
dog in this
Yeah, he
fight.
don't need it.
He didn't need it. So why would they do that, knowing they got whatever his name is? Plus, there's another guy,
Yeah.
Baroli. I'm like, I don't get it.
Why
You have a couple of guys that know what
Yep.
they're doing in the Commonwealth, and you go get someone else to do this?
Well, when you get a supplemental report, it just tells me that they're a paid mouthpiece to whatever you want them to come up with, if the math will math for them, so to speak.
They had the
No.
guy from the cars section.
Right.
He's former MSP.
Right.
Are you telling me that guy ain't gonna talk? Andrew Klain, that's right, Andrew Klain.
And he wouldn't
Andrew
risk he wouldn't risk it, dude. Knowing what he knew. I don't think so. He wouldn't risk his pension, his fucking, or not his pension, but his, his job, or maybe he wasn't qualified enough. I don't know. If I was a straight shooter and I worked for Aperture and all I did was reconstructionist, and you want me to come in there and find 26 seconds somewhere and make up a bullshit or 36-second bullshit, and I'm an engineer or I'm a cars researcher, I'm not going to put my livelihood on the line to lie. I just
And that's all right. So
that's how I think.
And I agree with you.
All right,
So
okay.
again, when I was thinking about this second trial and thinking about all the issues that the Commonwealth has, knowing, because I need to remind you guys of something. This case is attached to Birchmore in many, 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 many respects.
Oh, yeah.
And this case is political.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yep.
so if you think about it, why the flying fuck is Morrissey doing this? Why?
Why is
Getting as much money out of the system as he can. Spreading it out.
30 years in office is
Tommy,
corrupt. Yeah.
Does he want to be reelected?
I don't think so.
No,
He knows
he's
enough.
on
I
his
don't
way
think
out.
that- Attorney
He's on his
Andrea
way out.
Campbell, yeah. Andrea Campbell's done. She's gone.
I'm shocked because I mean I look at Morrissey, I'm like, well, goddamn, he could still eat meatballs for another 4 years, couldn't he?
Oh yeah,
Of course
that
he
whole
would.
but that whole Quincy thing. There's a connection there too, Barry.
Well, I
The
know
Marina
that.
Bay. That whole.
I know.
Listen,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm just like, dude, I don't understand what he's doing.
You park behind.
Politically,
red-
this is gonna kill him.
So if anybody wants to go to the buffer zone real quick, you can park behind the registry of deeds, and you're all welcome. There's no buffer zone per se. Ask if you have a question. Ask anyone there; they'll help you out. Everyone's more than welcome to come on down
Tommy, you can't wear certain gear though, buddy.
in the buffer zone,
Correct.
right?
You can't wear the
So-
gear. Yeah.
But you can still be there without the gear if you cover it up.
Correct.
All right. It's been almost 2.5 hours, guys. We could do a
That's
4.5 hour show just like that. Kaboom.
If I, I work, so like,
Yes.
yeah, but if I can get on, I'm happy to join
Yeah.
you guys.
Absolutely,
Barry,
dude. Open
Barry,
door, my
absolutely.
friend.
I love, when
Anytime.
you choose, I love when you choose violence in the morning. I love when you choose.
So you guys know, like, I pay very close attention to the testimony,
Yes.
word for word. If I have to go back, it's fine by me. Like, I even went back after yesterday's proceedings. I pay very close attention to the testimony because you hear things that are not normally going to get picked up because they could be utilized for an opening when it comes to the freedom for Karen.
Okay.
Yeah, like Brian Albert Jr., dude. When he said
And
that, I
what-
was like, fuck, his dad wasn't home when he went to
No.
bed.
No, you're right.
Which
He came
means-
downstairs. He came downstairs twice. Right. He came downstairs once.
Yeah,
Back up. He came back
his
down.
dad was not. Yeah, his dad was not home when he was going to bed.
All right. Were the donuts delivered to the house from Chris Albert's wife? You remember that whole thing?
I heard that there was a rumbling that maybe Brian Albert Jr. wasn't at the house because
I
he
heard
went
that too.
with Kaylin. I don't buy that.
I heard
He
that
wasn't
too.
doing it. It was his fucking birthday, dude.
There was no car in the driveway for the donuts to be left in from the pictures that they took.
Damn, Tom. Right there,
Brian
Tom.
Albert Jr. was home.
Did
Absolutely.
Caitlin take the
I
car?
wasn't.
Brian's car? Did Caitlin
Yeah,
take
I don't
Brian
buy
Jr.'s
the
car home with the
Chris
dog?
Morris, I don't know what time it is.
I know,
That's
right?
exactly right, Barry.
Yep.
Caitlin took
Yeah.
Brian Jr.'s car home with the fucking dog.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I believe that too.
Yeah, I do.
And I think if you get Brian Jr. on the phone, he cracks under the right circumstances. He will. What do you think? No, you don't know.
I have been saying this for months. Knowing the character of Brian Albert Jr., he is the one
That was picked on by his father quite a bit when he was younger. Wasn't the athlete. Wasn't the. Yeah,
He's got
I
a
got
total
you.
line in a different way.
I got you, man.
Look, man, he's an IT guy. He lives in Boston now.
Right.
He's made the disconnection.
Yeah, I want out.
Yep.
I'm shaving my mustache. I'm
Yeah.
in the South End now. I'm fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's hanging out in some kind of quarter up in Boston.
Yep.
I take the ferry to
Never know where it
P-Town.
is.
I take the
You
ferry
know.
over to P-Town from
Yeah,
Long Wharf.
dude.
All right. So let
I
everybody
don't know where
that's
the
here.
fuck he's going, but he's not in Canton anymore.
Yeah, no shit, huh? We're gonna have you back, Barry. We're definitely gonna have you back.
I love you
I mean,
guys.
this is great.
Listen, this is the best movement.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
Yeah, we're
Well,
blessed.
welcome.
I'm telling you, it's the best fucking movement ever. And
Welcome, man.
God bless you fucking moron trolls who make it even more interesting.
No
Oh, I
doubt.
love when you went, bro. I love it.
But Barry, we all appreciate your input and your thought
yeah.
on all this
Yeah.
because
You're
there's sometimes
very-
you just turn at me like, oh yeah, that's like
You're
Yeah,
very
dude.
knowledgeable too, Barry. You know
Yep.
a lot about the case. You know a
No
lot
doubt.
about the case, bro. I'll give you that.
I'm well
Yeah.
educated, my friends.
Yes, you are. Well, you
All
know
right.
a lot.
Barry, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Have a good day tomorrow. I'm sure we'll
Pleasure,
see you
bro.
Hey.
Monday.
Block Island.
What about
I want to go.
it? All right.
Block Island party.
I'm serious.
All right.
And-
You're
yeah,
more than
dude.
welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me know
We'll
what
go
the
get
details
pizza
are.
there. We'll get
I'll let
pizza
you
there.
know.
I'm in. Let's go.
End of August, first 2 weeks of September.
End of
Yes.
when?
End of August, first 2 weeks of September.
No shit.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Let's go.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yes.
serious. That's
Yes.
the perfect time.
Hard yes.
Yeah.
I love it.
You fish?
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you,
Oh, yeah.
Tommy.
No, my
All right.
pleasure, Barry. Thank you again.
Please,
And,
bro.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
man.
your thought
Go get 'em.
process is invaluable. So
Yeah, hey,
Bro,
anytime, Tommy.
so appreciate
Get on
it.
Twitter. Get on Twitter and fucking ass kick.
This is Mike. Mike, violence.
He chose violence this morning, dude. He woke up this morning like at 7:30. I'm reading his fucking tweet. I'm like, oh, he chose violence this morning. He
He's
chose
on.
violence.
He's on fire. All right, Barry. Listen, I think I have to
I'm
ask
just
this,
keeping it real, Mikey.
Barry,
Yes, you are.
I have to ask because I've been getting blasted. My phone's melting.
Oh,
Are you married?
no.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh.
All right,
Uh-oh.
ladies. Heads up, Barry. You got incoming.
Look out,
Yeah.
man. Look out, man.
Wait, what? What'd
Nan.
you say?
Dan Gallagher. Look out, Dan. I said,
Nan's gonna no, she's gonna pass. She's all right.
oh,
She's gonna
Okay.
pass.
I'm not the one making, I'm not putting connections together. You know, now that you see Barry, ladies,
There you go.
he's on Twitter.
Bingo.
Do you think?
I'll see you guys later.
Barry, thank you. Enjoy the day.
You didn't ask me if you didn't ask me if he has a girlfriend. That's the problem, dude. You didn't ask me if he was married. You might have a girlfriend. Who knows?
That's whose ever problem that is. That's between them. I don't know.
It could be private. Who knows? I don't know.
It's private, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
That's exactly what it is.
Hey,
What do
but-
you think, man?
Listen,
All
the
right.
trolls will have you and me married. They got me married to 5 different people at the same time. It's all good.
I
Man,
believe
We'll
that,
see-
Tommy.
they're fun.
Hey, we'll see you next
Fucking
week on here.
suck, bro.
Yeah.
You'll come on next
Those
week.
guys, they suck. And by the way, not for nothing, you know what that is. That's defamation, brother.
Yeah, there's lots of that
I know.
going around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already talked to my guy about that. He's got a folder on
I
it. Check. All right, listen.
Hey,
Enjoy the weekend.
Hey, man just chimed in, Barry. So I don't know. You're gonna.
Uh-oh.
I know you. I know you chose violence this morning. But you're
No,
not
I didn't choose violence. I'm just standing up. Listen, I'm just standing up for people.
I understand. No,
Yeah.
it's a metaphor. That's all. But I would love to see you back on next week sometime.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Any day you guys want, I'll make
Yep.
sure I square it away.
All right.
Awesome.
I'm my
do
own
it after-
boss, except for
We'll get Nan up here too. That'd be freaking
we can
amazing.
we can do like an afternoon show again if it works out for your schedule.
yeah.
Whatever.
Just a
All
little
right.
recap.
I think I need
Man.
to shave though.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
man.
that was a quick 2.5 hours. What a show.
Well,
Barry,
we
thank you
fucking
again.
tried.
I
Yeah,
can keep
we did
going.
it.
I'm just
Good
letting you know
job.
I can keep going. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
it.
Yeah, listen, go do your thing.
2.5,
I love
Mike.
you guys.
Boom. You gotta give everyone a break. Aiden's coming on soon too, so that
You know
too.
what? I'd like to hang with you guys if that was possible.
Yeah.
Even if
Yeah.
even if it was just like a cameo, like if you wanted to have rolling guests come in and say hi to Aiden, I'd love that.
Do whatever you want, man.
We'll figure it out. How's that?
Yeah.
But the
You-
girls,
you-
the girls,
you
the
text us.
girls can take care of that, Mike.
You text us, and you'll have a link in a minute. So that's all
Yes.
it really comes down
Simple.
to, bro.
Boom.
And,
Easy enough.
Nan, I think Nan wants you back on. The Ladies Love Barry is going on in the chat right now. So
Yep.
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if you got someone there with you right now that you can't disclose. We don't know. I'm not saying anything. But if you want to DM me first, I'll get it to Barry.
Of course he will.
He doesn't get in trouble. And
Small,
I will
Mike,
make sure.
small nominal fee.
I gotta go, fellas.
See ya, brother.
Later, bud.
See ya. All right.
Oh man,
I
awesome
love
show.
Mark. He fucking loves.
Isn't he
he's a good
great?
Shit.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mike, all our viewers are like that. They're all like
Yeah.
that. We're blessed. We have
Oh.
the best people, Mike. So I'm
He
glad
was
you guys
good.
enjoyed Barry. He's been with us from day one. He's brilliant, and if you don't follow him, you're missing out. Without a doubt, you got to get him on
brings-
Twitter.
He brings receipts.
Yes,
I'll tell you that. He brings
he's the
fucking
guy.
receipts.
Smart.
Yeah. So
All right.
I love how he agreed with a lot of the things we talked about, and agreed with a lot of the people we should call.
Yep.
What's
Even
your
his
plan for
point of
Monday?
view.
Yeah. Are you going to Dead on Monday? Or are you just gonna keep that in the back?
I was gonna try and go Monday and then shoot back here during when they're talking. Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, man. I don't, Mike. Is Barry, Mike? Is Barry on your hall, Pat? Damn, man. Fucking A, girl. I don't go that way. But he'll DM me first before I get back to anybody. Okay? I'm pimping Barry out. Okay, that's all I have to tell you.
It ain't easy, Mikey. It ain't easy.
It ain't easy being a
It ain't
pimp.
easy.
All right, guys. Chat. I will talk to you. See you later, guys.
Love you all. You guys are really the best. Thank you for spending your time with us. I could just ask if you just hit that little thumbs up and maybe subscribe. I'd appreciate it. You'd get a notice whenever we go live. You guys know what's going on with YouTube. You know. Let me just read these comments real quick. Donna Rash, we ain't got no quit. Thank you so much, Donna. Toots, 5 memberships. 5 people got memberships. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Donna, another 5 memberships. Thank you very much. Monday, say something about that. Sometimes it works out that way. Yep. Another 5 memberships. Wow. Wow. I'm in love with you guys. Thank you. So Monday, if you get here early enough, I'll bring you to church with me. So before I go to court, I stop at the church and say a prayer, and it's always open. It's, adoration, I think they call it. You don't have to come, but in the morning, if you want to go, we'll go there first. So you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Go wherever you go amongst the internet. Make sure you tell them that we sent you. Send love. And catch Aiden later on tonight. It's always a good time. And I hope everyone stays safe and healthy. And I want to thank you again, and we'll see you Monday. Thank you.
Cold mornings, cracked pavement, courthouse steps. He's there before sunrise while the world still rests. No cameras needed, no spotlight glare. Just a man with a purpose, always standing there. Facing the crowd, but the fight in his veins. Truth in his hands, pushing through the rain. Karen sees him, she knows what it means when you've got boots on the ground and you fight for your dreams. Boots on the ground, day after day, standing for truth in the hardest way. No fame, no glory, just a promise kept. TommyCpu, you never left. He don't ask for credit, don't ask for praise. Just fight in the good fight in 1,000 ways. When the cameras fade and the voices die, he's still right there, never asking why. He's got a handshake that you can trust, eyes that don't blink when it comes to us. Karen smiles because she knows it's true. She's got a soldier and his name's CPU. Boots on the ground, day after day, standing for truth in the hardest way. No fame, no hoarding, just a promise kept. TommyCpu, you never left. When the courthouse is empty and the crowd's gone home, Tom's still walking, he's never alone. 1,000 steps, a million prayers, because justice don't sleep and neither does he care.